Gotcha.
All right. But we're definitely burning pod now, Jeff. You got your wires?
Yeah, I'm all set.
All right.
We must have other podcast professionals on because they got all quiet when
we're waiting for you.
Button.
Waiting for
intros.
Yeah.
Unlike the normal idiots who just keep talking.
Wait, are we syncing? Are we doing clapping?
Oh, there's no clapping. There's no clapping. There's no syncing. Oh boy, this is going to be a good one. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed in the world of racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and have guests, we're sure you're going to giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock. There's no Chris. There's no Chrissy. They are in Mexico hoping. I'm wishing them well. They're in a hot tub while I'm shoveling snow. But whatever. This is Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. And thanks for coming back and listening to an adjacent to the Apex adjacent episode of our podcast. It's episode 176. And I moved my notes. Hold on a minute. 176. And we have special guests, Dave and Ian from the Apex Adjacent podcast. And if you're currently not driving a car, don't forget to pull out the E1R bingo card. If you get bingo on this episode, that'd be fantastic because Chris isn't going to talk about insurance. Nobody's going to interrupt Chrissy, and lots of other things might not happen. But if you do get bingo, post on Instagram, tag us. Hey, Mental. What you working on?
Still have a hole in my roofs, but so I've relocated to our great room, which is why none of my pictures are behind me, and I have much more shadows now. Everything on that side of the screen, all my bedroom furniture, all my office furniture, all stacked up, irritating me as I look at it because it's disorganized.
Is your entire house all the same sage green? Because it's the same color wall. Or are you in the same room just facing the other direction?
No. Because Vicky painted the office and painted this the same color.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What color temperature bulbs are we working with here? Are we going like 2,700? We getting up over 3,000?
I stole an LED light from my office that wasn't being used, and I put it over my computer screen right there. if I get over here and I can wiggle it, because otherwise, if I turn it off, it's like I'm doing a horrible remake of Apocalypse Now. The horror.
Just dabbing your forehead with a wet rag. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Mental, did you do any work on cars?
I oddly enough did. After I was listening to our December episode, and I predicted that my 78 Toyota Hilux would be streetable by the end of the year.
And we all chuckled.
Because you've known me now for 10 years. But I am proud to announce that it actually runs. Turns out 30-year-old fuel lines, you're going to have a few issues. Who knew? Got out the air compressor and was literally just forcing air through these lines, trying to blow all the crap out of them, and then repairing the 47 different little tiny dry rot cracks that came through and were spewing gas onto my driveway. But to do all this, to actually get access to it, I had to pull the bed of it off again. I'll be posting a video up on one of our things. So now it's going to get a proper exhaust before I put everything back on there. Ideally next month, maybe streetable. I actually drove it up and down the block with no taillights and no bed.
Who needs that crap?
Yeah, exactly. And I also picked up the rally car that you guys know, Donnie, Dr. Florida Man, and I are going to be defending our 2019 Texas Rally Championship. The car itself is classified, but it's a proper rally car. It broke down twice on the test drive.
That's good. That's a good sign.
And then broke down 10 miles outside of the town. We had to go to get it. My wife cried a little bit, wondered why she didn't marry somebody else. And I spent entire Saturday with the janky ass half magic trailer, winching it up on there and getting it home. And then Sunday was going through more wires, and I actually got it to start and move. So it is a fully functional vehicle right now. And
what is it? Or is that secret?
It is. I'll tell you offline because but Donnie, we're not going to go small. We have got an entire
Well, Donnie
multi-lever-
is
there's-
a luxury mammal. It's not
There
like
is-
you're going to get a Yugo and squeeze Donnie's ass into it.
there's-
It's not an MR2.
Furthermore, hold on.
We
Donnie's
can rule a
way-
couple things out.
Donnie's way too classy for a Yugo, but and also, I mean, it's not just the car. You've got to have the car and the theme and the tie-in, and then the stuff that you do. You know, it's Donnie. This is a guy that showed up at the Houston race with a bag of crystals, and he wrote on it in marker, "Not meth," and walked around offering it to people. But yeah, I've been recording some of this stuff, and I'll have a video on it probably right before we head down to Texas, to San Antonio for that. That'll be a lot of fun. But Jeff, I understand there's some sort of weather issue where you live.
Yeah, well, it's the beginning of the semester still, so I worked on Saturday, so I didn't get to like actually go full off into the garage.
Really? Because
and
it
get
looked like
anything done.
you were swimming on the Slack channel. It looked like you were just hanging out at the pool.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, because a pipe burst in the offices and I had to like take care of that. But that's besides the point, because I actually didn't work on that. But it started snowing here like a lot. Like we're talking to a couple of people from Colorado. What part of Colorado y'all from?
Denver.
We both
Denver,
live in
okay.
Denver, yeah.
Oh, okay. So in Jersey, it doesn't really snow as often as it does in probably Denver. But man, it snowed a lot here. Like a lot for a very long period of time, and it kind of like threw everything into like a tailspin. And my favorite TikTok is like, you'd think snow is great, but then you try and eat lunch and snow. You try and go out, snow. You try and fix your brakes on your Mazda 3, snow. You can't do it. So I got no wrenching done. But interestingly, I got some damage from the snow to both cars. The rear windshield wiper on my Mazda 3 hatch, wagony, whatever it is, like broke in half on the weight of the snow. Has happened to you? Yeah.
That happened to me last year.
When it
And
didn't snow.
Right at the beginning. No, there was snow. There was snow.
Are you all too lazy to brush off your rear window?
No.
That really would it go? Oh, the wiper will get it.
No, it happened overnight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what happened to me too. It was and to be fair, it was helped along by somebody who didn't know what they were doing. So I went to this gas station and I like really needed a new rear windshield wiper for my car. And they had them standing there. So I was like, oh, I'm here. I'll just grab one. This was like right at the beginning of the pandemic last year. And so I just grabbed it. And the guy, it was like a full service station in like a neighborhood where there's like lots of older people. So they're used to just like, so he didn't even ask.
Hey,
He
you want me
just,
to
like,
check the oil?
Right. Yeah. He just grabbed it and walked out to my car before I could say like, oh, I can change a windshield wiper.
Yeah. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Right. So he's like, oh, this is the size you need. I was like, I think that's too big. He's like, no, that's the size you need. So he puts it on and I pay him and I go and I get out and like just pulling out of the thing, I hit the rear wiper and it just goes clunk and sticks underneath the spoiler right there of the car and just wedges because it was too big. And so then I got home and it was really loose and then it snowed really heavy that night and I came out and it was just laying on the ground, the whole arm.
Yeah, my arm snapped in half, like right where it attached.
Yeah.
So
You
and
folks need a good, strong Saab rear window.
no, I've had sobs.
Wiper. Those never break.
Live in a desert.
Yeah, it's true. So my wife went out because I had to work still. This is another thing. I'm a little pissed off at COVID right now because we used to have a thing called snow days.
Now.
We used to have snow days. They used to get on, wake up, and I get a text message, and it'd say you don't have to go to work. Now I get a text message that just says you still got to work just from your house, sucker. So, like, I went out and I did a bunch of snow blowing, but then I had to come in for a meeting, and my wife went out, and she's like, "Well, I'll finish it." And she took the snow scraper thingy, and she scraped the antenna right off the top of her Subaru Forester. Yep. She said, "Can we fix that?" And I looked inside, and it looks broken. And I'm like, "Yes, maybe. I don't know."
I knew
So I don't know.
I
We'll
knew
see
Jen
that.
was strong, but dang, man,
Yeah,
don't make her mad.
I don't know.
Pent-up COVID anxiety. Just, I need to get out. Yeah.
That's it, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I will rethink. Oh, and then she tried to move my car and got it stuck in the snow. So then I had to go and push the car like in my office shoes. Not that I was wearing office shoes, but I had like took off my
home
snow
office
boots.
shoes, which are
Exactly.
slippers.
Yeah.
So I had to like push my Mazda 3 and then like listen to her complain about why I didn't have my snow tires on. And I was like, because I didn't put them on.
I think
this
she's
year.
just suckering you into some cardio. Like, I mean, that's just like, yeah.
No, it's not that.
Because
don't
I
know,
remember an episode a few months ago where I think Chris and Chrissy asked you if you'd put your snow tires on.
And I said no. I said no. It hasn't snowed enough for 2 years. I don't need my snow tires.
Well, also, like, where are you going to go? Where
Exactly.
where's
I was like,
going?
no, I have to go to work a couple times a week. So
I just, when you talk about this scraping on there, and you guys are in Colorado, and I remember living in Nebraska and other places, and we'd call them snow tanks. And it just, you know, okay, it snowed 6 inches, and they get out and scrape 2 portholes in their front. And they're just driving along with they'll sudden the giant sheet of snow floats off and hits your car.
Dave has a name for this.
Yeah, that's car cakes. That's car cakes. The best, the best, just that loaf of snow on the top. The best is when, like, Colorado has these crazy temperature cycles, right?
Yeah.
And so
I lived in the Springs for 3 years and I loved it, but yeah.
Right. Well, good job getting out of the Springs. Yeah. But how about you focus on your own damn family? Anyway,
I get that joke. I was there when that happened.
I got a solid 5 on the Springs. All right. Yeah. Somebody give me the light. The best is like when that temperature ticks back up and like that, the snow will start to melt and they hit the brakes and everything just goes sliding to the
slides down like
just,
a guillotine.
Yeah.
It's just
amazing.
Perfect, just desserts. It's so great.
What's
love
great
it so much.
is sometimes you'll see just the aftermath of that, because you'll see, because living in Colorado, right? Like the roads get clear really quickly as soon as the sun comes out. The roads, just everything evaporates. But every once in a while, you'll pull up to a stoplight and you'll see just
a pile,
dry road, and then just a pile of snow, like right in front of the white line.
Yeah,
and you just know.
We know what's been going on here. Yeah.
We have 2 mysterious voices with us that are replacing the Chris and Chrissy show, so we should probably introduce them. So these are not stand-ins; these are only temporary. They're kind of like our guests for the week,
unless it goes
Dave
well.
Unless it goes well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's Dave and Ian from the Apex Adjacent podcast. Why don't you introduce yourselves so people would understand which voice is which? Because I don't know how many people listen to both of our shows.
Yeah, Dave, you want to go first? Because it's sweet and then sour.
Okay, so Dave, we'll do the traditional way. Dave from Apex Adjacent, what you working on?
Hello, I am Dave. I have recently worked on getting my Vigan. Let me see if I can adjust my background here. It
is a blue. What is that? Is that like an 04, 05?
So they quit making the Vigans in 03.
Yep. So Vigan was only 99 to 2002 or 3, right? I have the first year, also known as the best, or like kind of the rarest year, because they did some special stuff with the interior, like has these nice blue inlays on the seats. So I've been working on the Vigan mainly because I put it in a ditch. So it is my track car. The interior is stripped out. My daily driver is a Lexus LS 460 from 2008. So I have, my car that I prefer to keep nice, and my tough shed of a vehicle, the Saab Vigan, right? I had to take a whole bunch of paint to the paint recycler because I'm selling my house, and now it's time to get all the hazardous materials out of my house that the inspector would find.
They get so upset about that.
I know, right? Yeah, you just can't put it down a toilet.
Why is your toddler trying to drink my paint? Really, the problem is with you. Yeah.
Exactly. So we had a little bit of snow. I loaded up the Vigan full of paint, as I am wont to do. Some of it spilled in the back on the way over there.
Whatever, track car.
Right, exactly. Great time all around.
It's rust protection, which is warranted in that car.
See, that's my boy. Yeah, it's a little late. Yeah. So Get to the road where the paint recycling center is, and that road has just nothing but packed snow and ice. I'm on Bridgestone or Firehawk Indies for my tires. They are basically racing
good snow
slicks.
tire. Yeah,
right. And I try to make it up this very, very minor hill. I do not. I go backwards down, and at some point I start spinning and go down into the ditch, and it all happened very slow motion. So much so that I could just go, well, this is it, as I'm just clutching the steering wheel and just watching everything happen. So I go maybe, Ian, like 15 feet down a ditch, 20 feet.
It was impressive. You got good distance.
I did. And had to call a tow truck to come pull my Vigan out. I ripped one of the side skirts off the side, cracked the bumper. Those bumpers.
Yeah, those have to be like
rare.
Yeah, unobtainium.
Yeah, people sell the bumpers, the front bumpers for Vigans for like $1,000 on eBay.
Ooh.
Just the plastic bumper cover. So yeah. So I got a little crack in that, lost a fog light. That's fine. We're going to put some brake cooling ducts in instead. Reattach the
brake
bumper.
Is just a reason to upgrade.
Yep. So reattached the bumper, limped it home, and now it's currently sitting in a storage unit. So that's my Vigan. Other than that, I replaced a battery on a 2012 Honda Accord V6 today. One of the easiest battery replacements I've ever done. You open the hood and you go, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
Very front.
Very Honda.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that the most difficult part was chasing down that little radio code card in the right in the glove box. But
it was there. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So my stepdaughter had that card still in the manual. The manuals are all pristine in the container. She takes good care of her car, and so got the code and she was all set.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to meet you and nice to meet your Saab. Someday I'll tell you a Saab story, but it has to do with a Swedish man walking in a mountain. Car breaks down. He goes to the mechanic. Can you fix my car? He says, hey man, no Saab stories. Ian, what you working on?
Well, first of all, let me just point out that my favorite part about Dave's car, Dave's Vigan, now living in a storage unit, is that when he parked it there, the owner of the storage unit told him that he wasn't allowed to work on it. And I said, how are you supposed to get it out? Because that's pretty much how it works. You park it and it breaks, and then you work on it, and then you can go again.
Right. Yeah. Like there's something like parking and then just being able to move the vehicle after that under its own free will.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
But that's because you drive a Volkswagen that you don't understand this. That's all I'm going to say.
Get the hell out of here.
The Volkswagen sitting on a rollback. We've got one of our buddies. He's got a GTI that he's been trying to convert to a 16V for 6 years.
I think so.
Last year during the Rona, he ordered one of the last new speed throttle bodies that in existence. He paid like $200 to have it shipped from Germany. Big surprise. Car didn't run.
Let me guess. Electrical problems?
It's some sort of bent crank.
The inductor wheel, is that?
Yeah,
is that
he
thing?
thinks he has
a
bent, but I mean, literally, it's always something.
The reason it doesn't work is because it was built by Volkswagen. I think that's the problem.
Got those metric spinning electrons. You need the SAE
right.
electrons.
Okay, we're stepping all over you and what you're working on. Introduce yourself. Say hi. You're the one with the Volkswagen behind you.
Yeah, I'm Ian from Apex Adjacent. I am whiskey to Dave's candy. That's my role on the show. I am working on maintaining my reputation as the worst wrench in the West. I'm terrible at doing cars, which is why they usually end up like this on a tow truck, and I pay someone else to fix it.
And that is some sort of R32. What vintage is that?
Yeah, that's a 2004 R32 that I've had for like nearly 10 years now. About 10 years, actually. More than 10 years. Oh, wow. So I have had a long time.
This is all hitting you really fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is your eye twitching?
I've had a lot of break and then upgrade type things on that. So it's got quite a few upgrades on it, and like I said, I just do track days and mountain driving with it.
You don't just do track days, you slay track days. Ian is a fantastic driver, and I'll toot his horn. So in addition to me being the taffy can,
we do that on our show too. We toot each
half
other's
of the
horn.
show, right? I'm the emotional
I feel like I
bar
should
here.
click that I'm over 18 for that. I'm not judging. There's no kink shaming on our show. But.
Hey, it is what it is. And
Dear Lord, what's happening?
That is we have sad trombone and then triumphant trombone.
That's all I know how to play.
Hang on. NSX, Tesla, Miata, RV, IOE winner, Las Vegas. I was just reading stuff off the bingo card.
Oh, okay. It doesn't work that way. We're not allowed to win.
I want someone else to win.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
That trombone was a Craigslist special that I bought for $35 and then realized we didn't have the right mouthpiece. And we were just trying to learn to go, wah, wah.
That's pretty good. Also, nice job avoiding hepatitis with a Craigslist trombone.
Right.
It came without a mouthpiece. So we had to buy a new mouthpiece. So.
Everybody, if you're listening, whatever you do not Google Urban Dictionary Craigslist trombone, because that is disgusting.
That is not a safe search term.
This is like how IT guys like sell their laptops on Craigslist, but without the hard drive. Like that's the
exactly.
trombone equivalent, the musical instrument equivalent.
That's a good one.
Oof.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So, Ian, do you have anything else that you're working on? I see things about vinyl here, but are you a vinyl file?
I do. Yeah, I collect vinyl. Mostly lately, it's just been trying to intercept the mailman to get the vinyl before my wife realizes that I've ordered yet more. Kind of like, when you're a kid and you try to intercept your report card, because then it doesn't exist if you get to it first.
Oh, exactly.
It's the Rock Auto boxes at my house.
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna lean in and whisper because my house is laid out kind of a compound. So my garage is in front of the house, and there's a gate between the garage and the house. Between the front door is like 10 steps. So the Amazon guy or the post office guy, they normally just throw it in the back of my truck, like whatever package is, right?
Okay.
And the wife doesn't know it. So what you need is there's just more distance.
Mm-hmm.
Between the front door and your packages.
So when it's Zulily, do you take it out of your truck and put it next to the door so she thinks that's normal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
or I bring it in and go, oh, hey, honey, this is for you.
Was that the door?
This showed up. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah,
I get just drop like a plate of cookies in the bed of your truck, right?
I get a lot of pictures like, Amazon, your package is delivered successfully. And it's a picture of this box randomly thrown in the bed of my truck. And I'm like, actually, that's really secure. It keeps away from the.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no one's porch pirates aren't going to see it.
No, well, they're going to look at that truck and go, there is nothing valuable. There is absolutely nothing worth it.
So I want to do a quick intro here. Ian, are you done your section? Because I don't want to cut you off if there's more things to say. Okay. So, I'm going to start a story and you let the listeners in a little bit of backstage magic on why we would bring into people from another podcast. Like
I would like to be let in on that as well.
Why am I here?
Like, do you two regularly listen to us? Are we on your list? Have you heard it ever before? It's okay to say no.
Let me go first.
Okay.
Because I'm really excited.
Honest?
To say no.
It's fine.
I don't listen to any automotive podcasts because that way it really keeps ours pure.
Oh dear God.
Because we're artists.
I need hang on. I need the Ian's getting up his own ass button.
We're gonna add that to the bingo card. Yeah.
Blatant lies from a host.
Yeah.
Dave, have you ever heard us before? Have you listened?
Yeah, I've listened to a couple episodes recently, but I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, but with everything that's been happening, it's been all I can do to listen to the Crooked Media What a Day political podcast.
Yeah.
Right. So just kind of taking that in, then just gently rocking myself in a shower for a while.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. And then maybe I'll listen to How Did This Get Made or a Venture Brothers podcast because I'm a huge Venture Brothers fan.
I'm a big fan of what
we love. Oh man,
Yeah.
you and I are gonna connect because I love.
Thank you.
Here's
Good.
the look
This
for
is
the
a Guild
listeners.
of Calamitous Intent shirt.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I
I
know
just
what
had
that
to,
means.
I just had to show someone the other day, the very first episode where Brock drives his Charger into the Monarchs headquarters and runs them all down.
Yes.
And he's like, "Are you okay?" They hit me with a truck.
Yep. Yes. The best, right? Yeah.
I have no idea what to talk about either. Man. We'll just do our own podcast.
We'll
over
do
here.
our separate
So-
Venture Brothers podcast. Mental. Yeah, it's fine.
So Mental does a lot of the booking. So he booked you, and I was like, oh, definitely got to listen to that. I might catch up, right?
You're like, why don't I have veto power?
No, not at all.
I've been interacting with these guys occasionally on Twitter.
And texting us. Yeah.
Right. And you can absolutely track my workload by my interaction with you guys. You know, like those long periods of nothing, I had something to do. And then like the whole thing where I was trying to join your F1 group, that was when I was TDY, or I was down in Florida for a business trip. And it was useless down there. And then that's why I finished dead last in your Formula One league.
Well, at least somebody got beat. So honestly, I want to say
not
honestly,
too far from Ian, honestly.
we let Mental book people because he's got extremely eclectic tastes, and we're trying. Be perfectly honest here. Both of us are trying to increase our listener groups, right? Because maybe our listeners will listen to you, and you're
artist.
So I said, well, I better catch up because I need to know who these guys are, and I love podcasts. So I listen to a ton. So I've listened from like almost Thanksgiving on, and have caught up.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I get I'm like, this is exciting. They're not racing podcasts. They're going to be great. I listened to your New Year's episode, and your greatest accomplishment is you interviewed Donnie.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not helping. If Donnie listens to them, I'm not adding any listeners. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I think Donnie counts for like a few dozen listeners for most podcasts because he interacts quite a bit.
He does. He definitely does.
And honestly, I mean, we've talked about him twice now. You probably should have just had him on.
We have had him on.
Yeah,
absolutely. We love Donnie. We race with Donnie.
I have a great Donnie story that you two might appreciate. The very first time I met Donnie, I was doing a 24-hour karting event in Orlando, and was broadcasting this, and he said, "You're like a couple hours from me." So he hopped in the Screaming Yellow TA, one of his 4, I think, that he has, and he rolls down there, and I'm talking to him again, just really terrific human being, and this guy who's a little punch drunk and a little drunk comes up to Donnie and looks at him kind of funny and goes, "Where do I know you from, man?" And he had just done the rally with Steph, the Retreat from Moscow rally, and Steph had broadcast all the stuff. I didn't realize Donnie had been on VenWiki, and the guy recognized him from VenWiki. So the guy's like, "Where do I know you from?" And Donnie, without missing a beat, looks at him and goes, "You watch a lot of porn, don't you?" And you see the guy kind of start rolling through,
think about
like, well, did I?
Wait, let me rewind.
Oh, well, all right. Well, I mean,
not that one.
There's been some kink holes that I've gone down to, and Donnie is just deadpan about it. And finally, Donnie, after the guy's like trying to figure out, did I see him on porn? Donnie goes, "I was a VenWiki storyteller," and thank God.
Nice.
That's Donnie.
Well, before we fall too far in the Donnie hole, let's move on to our next segment.
Also, things you should never Google: Donnie hole.
No, Donnie hole. News and notes.
All right, before we jump into this section, it's been a while since we did a sponsorship read. We haven't had a sponsor for a while, but I want to talk about Bunked Belts. Now, last week I got my my Idiot of Effluency prize for doing the 2 24-hour races on the same
shiny
weekend. It is, actually. This is really cool. So I got this from Bunked Belts. I posted it up to our Facebook and to our Instagram, and he immediately responded. It's Dave Roberts over there. This is just a really cool little neat gift, not just for lemons, but if you have like a goofy trophy at work or something like that, you want to get somebody, you guys should check all of them out. They've got a lot of stuff where teachers are giving these out for who got the best grades and that sort of stuff. Cub Scouts, smaller civic organizations. This is just a cool thing. You could go old school, like a box. Yeah, there it is. Like Jeff's got his Libre.
I made this one in my garage.
Right.
with a can of spray paint, and it only cuts you a little bit when you wear it.
So, but you could do this, and even if you had like say an inter-team award for a guy that mounted 4 corded tires on the race car on Saturday night. Yeah, I have no idea who that idiot was. But it's unique, affordable, fun alternative to a regular trophy. It's something they can hang on their wall. It's a really fun gift for birthday person. If you guys are doing some sort of pub crawl or bachelor party or something like that, get in touch with them. All of their social media is in our show notes. They've got an Etsy shop. It's not like his primary thing. It's just a cool thing.
Nice.
Right on.
Did you know this weekend there was a race? It was a long one. It was like a 24-hour one.
I was
down there in
wondering
Florida.
I was wondering why my favorite Instagrammer, Jordan Taylor, was not posting as much as he normally does, but he still posted a lot.
He was busy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Daytona International Speedway, of course, had the Daytona 24-hour. They had the season opener for the Mazda Cup Series, and it was amazing. The video clip has been shared all over the place. Hazel Southwest over at the Drive tells us about this insane 8-car finish. We'll put the link in the show notes. It has the video clip, but 8 Mazda's MX-5s finished all within 1 second of each other at Daytona. And let me tell you, I watched the last 3 laps because it was there. It was the most exciting, nail-biting, thrilling, oh my God, I can't believe they're going to get through this turn race I have seen in a bunch of times. And we won a race last year by less than a second. And this was still crazy. It was great. Link in the article. I think
remarkably clean,
very clean.
No, I mean, but they were nose tail, but nobody traded paint. It was awesome.
Well, I think there was some paint trading, but it wasn't
paint, but so dense.
No, nobody moved anybody. It was right. Absolutely fantastic. Check it out. Link in the show notes from the Drive. If you haven't seen this video, go check it out. Right. Have you guys seen the video?
Haven't.
So I am like Ian doesn't listen to automotive podcasts. I don't watch any racing, and yet I still beat him at fantasy Formula F1.
Thank you guys for giving him that opening. I appreciate that.
He took it.
I was aware because I listened to your shows,
and he wiggled that opening. He made
yeah, by like a lot, guys. So anyway, so I'm sorry I don't watch any racing. I actually scheduled some stuff that I have to do at work on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm doing some
it's okay.
system maintenance.
Super Bowl Sunday is absolutely the time to get stuff done.
Okay.
But like when the same weekend that they run the Indy 500, I'll go and plant myself over at the Westlake Sportsbook because it opens up with Monaco Formula One.
Yep.
And then I go catch the breakfast buffet. And then I watch the Indy 500.
I like this. You got a system. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
And while you're there betting, you're drinking. And I'll take stupid $1 bets. The guy that won third in the 2019 Indy 500, I'd actually picked him to win because it was a $5 bet. I would have won $600.
Oh.
And I was watching those last couple laps going, I don't want anyone injured, but if one could hit 2 right now.
And there's more passing in a single lap of the Indy 500 than the entire season of Formula One. So, anything can happen.
And then I'll watch the Coca-Cola 600, but that's really more about all the experience. I love racing, but I won't watch it because the whole time I'm sitting in front of the TV, I'm thinking all of the other things I can be getting done. I go and catch the highlights.
Yeah. YouTube highlight reels are great.
This is a YouTube highlight worth finding.
Yeah.
Matt, so you got a story?
I do. So also over the Drive, Peter Holderwith writes about a pair of New York police explorers that got busted on Instagram. They were doing donuts during those recent snowstorms that you Eastern Yankees have to deal with. And here's my things. I got beef with it because he's all snotty about it. And the guy taking the Instagram photos all snotty. And Peter writes, the annoying part about this, of course, is if you and I are caught doing donuts in a Soy parking lot, we'd probably get a ticket. If they catch me doing sick reverse snowdrifts in my Cobalt SS, I'll let them know I'll be conducting my own internal investigation. And maybe it's a New York thing, but I have done snow nuts in parking lots across the United States. I've lived in, I think, 14 states. And I've never gotten a ticket over this. Now I've had cops come over and
I've gotten yelled at. I've got shooed away. Absolutely.
Just because some nervous property owner doesn't want to get sued. But I remember in Nebraska when I was in college years ago, me and my roommate were doing snow nuts and a cop came over there, completely showed us up. It was awesome. And then, then kind of gave us the,
right.
All right, like
we didn't really have this conversation, but we're having this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's time to go. It's time to go, kids.
And that's that was respectful on both parts. So not only have I never been given a ticket, the guys will join when they come to leave. It's some whiny Karen-esque property manager, but in a comment, a spokesman for the NYPD told the drive that we are aware of the video. We're looking into it, which is silly. I know law enforcement right now is a very polarizing issue. But this right here, this is a common ground because I think everybody, all of us, you guys live in Denver, you can agree that doing donuts in a parking lot is something that should bring us all together.
I like that you made Ian spit up his hot toddy as soon as
tragedy.
Yeah.
So that's fine. First of all, no one is going to notice. This isn't really going on YouTube.
Yes, it is. Cops are doing donuts, guys. Cops are doing donuts
and eating donuts. Am I right?
Right.
But
how do they know which ones to eat?
A link to that article is in our show notes.
Okay, raise your hand if you've.
I have a thing to say. I have an add-on for this. So I think this is a good thing where when people point out inequalities, that sometimes we have this bad thing of like, well, if things suck for someone, they should suck for everybody.
Exactly. That's right.
Instead of being like, hey, it's not a big deal for anybody to do it. See, they're doing it, so we should be able to do it too.
Right.
It's like, I got you. Raise your hand if you've been yelled at by a priest to get out of their parking lot while doing donuts.
I was yelled at by some
could have ended a lot of different ways.
I was scolded by some parishioners about 3 blocks from my house just a few weeks ago, the last snowstorm we had.
Let's just say high school Jeff didn't realize they lived
construction
there.
workers, right? Yeah.
In that same parking lot, so there's a church parking lot.
Don't dox yourself, Ian. Security.
There's a church parking lot 3 blocks from everywhere.
Like our listeners are going to do anything other than go to his parking lot and do donuts. I mean,
right, true.
Anyway, besides, the church parking lot is the recognized just hallowed ground for the
snow nuts
enthusiasts. Absolutely.
Yeah. Everywhere, right?
The Church of Snow Nuts.
And who knew on a Wednesday that they'd be there?
Right. It was a Monday morning.
In the South, they're always there on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I grew up in Missouri. They're always there.
This is a Catholic church. They're not supposed to be there.
Exactly. I didn't know they lived in that little house back there when I was in high school. But anyway, the SEC Tutara. Are you gentlemen aware of this story?
You saw it here first.
You saw it here first. We're going to put it right here. We were at the debut at the Philadelphia Auto Show. It was terrible. It was like 4 guys and a bad microphone and a folding chair. But anyway, so if you haven't been following the story, a couple of weeks ago, they went to Utah or somewhere, some square state out there with lots of sand, and they tried to set a land speed record, and they sent the video in, and the entire internet was like, nah, you're bullshitting, because I can, this is where it was set by the Koenigsegg, and we know how far apart the street signs are, and we could do the math, and we know you're not going that fast. So they said, oh, maybe you're right. So they did it again, and this time they're setting the record straight. They only had a 3-mile course in South Carolina. I'm not sure. It was Carolina somewhere. And they actually had third-party monitoring this time. Race Logic was there with their V-Box. Garmin was there, and the E1R. And the results were not the 316 that they said last time. It was only 282.9 miles per hour.
Oh, so they
plebeians. Exactly.
That is the average though, because they had one run at 286.1.
Exactly. So link in the show notes to the Car and Driver article. It is still pretty impressive because with half the speed or half the distance, because the Utah course is 6 miles. So this was only a 3-mile course. So they said they accelerated for 2.7 and hit the brakes for the last 0.3. Yeah, that's pretty scary. I'm sorry, Nevada. I kept saying Utah. It was Nevada. I had to click the link to check it. But they beat the Koenigsegg Acera RS, which in 2017 went 277.
If I'm not mistaken, that place in South Carolina, it's an old Strategic Air Command runway.
It is correct,
and it's the East Coast version of the Salt Flats.
Yep.
And they'll the guys out there and they run timing stuff. So yeah, when you're doing 280 miles an hour and you have to get on the binders, you can see the end of that runway. I'm sure there was a whole lot of okay, here we go.
Yeah. So, code brown for the entire 0.3 mile, right?
Well, here's another thing I read in the article. It's a customer's car. It's not like they sold the car, the customer has it, and they called them up and they were like, "Hey, can we have it back? Because we know we already sold it to you, but we got to fix this land speed record." And the dude said, "Yeah, we can set it, but I'm driving." So hats off to that MFer right there, because that's
proper.
balls.
Yeah.
Ian, I gave you a piece of carrot cake earlier today. Could I please get that back?
You're going to have to fish it out of a 6-year-old.
Current national track is way shorter. It'll be done.
My God.
So we do have some upcoming racers, but before we get into that, last week we reported that the American Endurance Racing event at Charlotte was canceled, which props to AR. They just owned up to it. They didn't have enough cars and to make it worthwhile. So right now, John Calisa is having a poll on Facebook on the AR webpage regarding the possibility of an August 13th and 14th reschedule. If you avoid Facebook because you keep buying clapped out cars for Lemons rallies or something, or you got other political reasons, the link to that is in our show notes. You can go straight there, vote, and then come back.
Thanks, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, really. Look, he invented the greatest app. It's right on my phone. It tells me all of my friends who are racists. What's wrong? Champ Car was this weekend, February 5th and 6th. Bill Strong and company are headed to Michelin. Oh, this is an upcoming race.
Yeah.
Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Just Road Atlanta, people, for a 14-hour enduro. 98 cars will be at the track, 23 BMWs.
Boring.
26 Miatas, 7 Hondas, 4 Porsches, and a 1968 frickin' Dart. Dodge Dart, son of a mofo. I'm excited.
The best part is that Dart will not finish last.
No,
Leroy Jenkins has entered the chat.
I just want to know if it has the Leaning Tower of Power. Included in that list is a list of cars. Also, Happy Moose Racing, the amateur team with no other than seat-stealing Randy. That is, So if you guys don't listen to the show,
Randy Popes
continues to steal seats at racetracks for us.
Yeah,
it's a very problem. He's going to be there, I assume, in his Volvo wagon.
No. He's got that the 940 sedan that he had completely redone.
Oh, okay.
He's a ruthless Volvo loyalist.
Absolutely.
That is an awful picture of your Saab. That is.
Yeah, I know that.
Is that it in the ditch?
That's so sad.
Yeah.
But I mean, he got good distance though.
Yeah.
I really like the wheels on that. Is that like a stock?
Now it's some aftermarket. So my good buddy Peta,
the guy who protects all the animals. I know that guy.
Yes, yeah. No, so I like many folks make lifelong friends from buying cars from them on Craigslist, and so this is Peter's Vigan that I purchased from him. Peter lives up in Vale. This car used to live in Maine, so it has an expiration date set by Rust on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peter put those aftermarket wheels on there. They're nice 17-inch, pretty lightweight wheels. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this weekend it's going to be in the low 30s, high 20s, and rainy. So I hope they keep it out of the ditch over there in Atlanta.
That'll
Which
be entertaining.
Is always Road Atlanta in the winter.
Yeah.
Wait, this is where the Dart's going to be too?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That sounds great.
All right. Recent results.
Shifting over The World Racing League spent this past weekend at NOLA and a very wet racing weekend. Looking at some of the pictures, Saturday first was WTW Racing, who ran away with it in their Cayman GT4. They finished 3 laps over the second place team of Team ACP in a very boring BMW M2. Third was PC Racing and another boring BMW M3, but that was actually running 1 class lower in GP1. The other 2 cars were GP0, which is their Super Dog series. A lap behind that was our show friends, Tyler Hoffman, Kingpin Racing. They were in 5th. Sunday's winner was Stratus Racing in their Mazda-powered NP01, that basically it's a special build
prototype,
mini prototype powered by a Mazda Miata engine. Fastest lap of the day was a 1:48.6, which for the full course at NOLA, that's hauling the mail. They were 2 laps over Screaming Goat Racing. One goat. Goat.
You F1 goat.
One in their boring BMW E46 M3 in 5 laps back was WTW Racing. Kingpin would finish Sunday in 7th.
Dave, I'll tell you the rest of that joke later.
Thank
you. You have to do it in a Russian accent, by the way. That's a rule for us.
My favorite version of that is Paul McCartney telling it. Have you seen the
no
video on YouTube of him saying that?
I've got to find it now. That's awesome.
Also, does everybody know that you actually write boring before BMW in every single one of your show notes? I'm looking at the script, and it's does your phone just add boring?
Yeah, it autocorrects
you type it in
to boring. Yes.
Yeah. As soon as you type a capital B, it just fills in. Yeah.
It's like the grassroots motorsports board. When you type curses, it changes it into other words.
Yeah.
It does.
I want to unpack that, but this isn't therapy hour. That's our show. That's our show. Yeah,
we've spent a lot of racing getting beat by a lot of BMWs.
Because for amateur endurance racing, it's the easy button. They're fast out of the box. Right. They've got parts everywhere, and it's just come on.
That's why Ian and I won't own Subaru WRXs or STIs here in Colorado. We won't. We just won't.
I understand.
A few years ago, Dave and I were racing with my dad's racing team, a chump car race. It was still called chump car then, with the Maserati by Turbo. And
that's nice.
Wait, are you Dead Pedal Racing?
Yep.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Looking for you for so many years.
We've been wanting to talk to those guys.
Oh my God. We kept seeing that listed on there. We're like,
I don't think you want to talk to the rest of them.
They are my family.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
Anyone crazy enough to run a Maserati by Turbo, God bless them.
Well, yeah, this story is about how crazy it is because we had to change the clutch overnight.
Yeah.
And that'll do it.
We were in a garage in Road America changing the clutch, and the stall next to us was an E30 team.
Yep.
And they had to do an engine swap, and they beat us by several hours
when we were just doing a clutch.
Yep. Not a surprise.
Yeah. Even if we took your dad and your uncle out of the equation, they still would have beaten us. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's talk listener feedback.
We spent a year looking for that team, like trying to get a hold of them on every social media. Couldn't get.
I can hook you up. My dad will absolutely do your show.
The next time they go to a race, we have to talk.
We need some footage. Yep.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about it? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because when I first showed up to race with them, I had never driven a race car before. I had never driven in a race before, and it was Road America. And I was terrified.
Right.
And I had to go buy my gear, like all, the suit and all everything. And I went to we have a store here where you can go in person to buy that.
Yes.
We highly recommend you always do that.
Yeah. Wine Country Motorsports.
Oh yeah, Wine Country. I know Wine Country.
I know Wine Country. Yeah. They do a lot of work with Texas NASA. Yeah, they've got some satellite stuff. Good organization.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I went and they knew the rules and they were like, well, you only need the 3-layer suit, you don't need the underwear too. And I was like, let me stop you right there. Because I'm going to be driving around in a 30-year-old Italian car that my family put together.
So give me the underwear. Yeah, I get you.
Yep. Yeah. Ian ordered extra asbestos for that one.
Not a surprise.
Yeah,
the good part is it'll probably break before it catches fire.
Yeah. They've been doing pretty well the last couple of
They
races.
have. Every time we report on them and we report them in the standings, we're like, how the hell did they do that? We got to talk to those guys.
Yeah. No, well, and we're all, God, Jeff, what are we, 3 generations into our safety gear now? I've got more into my safety gear than I have into many cars that I've driven at a racetrack.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the right place to spend the money. I mean, I don't buy groceries on Craigslist. I buy cars. Okay.
Let's keep moving on. Listener feedback time.
We will derail this show.
Oh, this is my job. I just keep moving.
I'm writing down the I don't buy groceries on Craigslist. That's going to work tomorrow.
Trust me, I'm waiting for the funniest bit and then I move on. When the best line happens, if I change topics right after you, that's a sign that I like the joke.
That's the badge that I get. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So listener feedback. Al Jones was commenting on the YouTubes about our Corvette lottery story. And he says he bought some of those scratch off tickets down there in Georgia to win a Corvette lottery in the Corvette lottery. But all he won is a pair of white New Balance shoes and some jorts. So he's a little upset by that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, that's not too bad.
I mean, that's halfway to a Corvette, right?
Oh, hang on. I'm sharing my screen for this one. Hang on. We're doing it. We're going to desktop 2, everybody. Yeah, we're hitting share because I got a Corvette picture that's going to blow your freaking minds. Boom. 5th generation.
Oh, the
right
ham.
there.
The infamous ham. I love the ham.
Yep. Right. Come on.
Nothing wrong with that.
We've got 2 Corvette owners on our team. One of them is Jeff, although technically
my wife's
just married a Corvette owner. The other one is actually our one of our younger fitter guys, and
shirtless Matt,
or pantless Matt, because we had another shirtless Matt. But he's young, he's fit, he's an aerospace engineer, has New Balance sneakers because he swears they're the most comfortable things ever, and then he won't let me touch his thermostat when I stay at his house. But that's a whole different discussion.
As someone who presents in their 40s but is also 70 inside, right? I eat dinner at 4:30. Like I get it. This person is my whole vibe. Yeah. So why do you think I drive a Lexus LS 460?
Because it works.
Because it'll do a million miles.
Because you have a sob and you need something to get you to work.
Got to get to work on Monday.
True.
Absolutely.
True. And I just put that rear sunshade up because those headlights from the cars behind me, I just can't take it.
Because they're plebeian.
Yeah, just too bright.
We also talked about last week, Better Than Nothing. They did the LS swapped E36, and they were adding to more to that one. So apparently it's only the 5.3 blocks that came in the Trailblazer SS that don't have dipstick holes. I'm going to interrupt their quote right there because also it was the Ascenders and the Trailblazer, which was the Saab version of that. Trailblazer oil pans.
Donnie has.
Of course, it's GM,
but he doesn't.
Weird,
he doesn't
right?
have the Trailblazer SS, but he does have the Trailblazer because he's Donnie, and he's got a Volvo too because he's Donnie. But yeah, the Trailblazer oil pans are massive since the front differential mounts to it and has an axle shaft running through it, which I believe you two referenced on your last episode when you were talking about the 8 levels of problem solving and why engineers make bad decisions. And you said something about axles running the oil pans.
Ian,
just sticky.
Yeah,
he's pointing down.
He's pointing down. His microphone isn't working, but it's funnier that way.
What's happening, Dave? Are you okay? I need assistance.
Right.
I'm just fine.
So anyway, so they had this cheaty LS swapped E36, but they showed up with 2 cases of White Claws, so 0 penalty laps. And the electronic
laws because we're busting White Claws.
That's right. There ain't no laws.
With the
popping claws.
Yep. The oil level was the least of our problems. The electronic throttle body kept going into limp mode when you started pushing hard. So, as you do in a Lemons race, drivers found that the workaround was to shut the car off while coasting for a second and reset the ECU.
Yes.
Ended up having fuel tune issues, put the car on the trailer instead of melting pistons. Builder has since sold the car to some of our drivers who have it mostly fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So they should get another race this year. So when they show up at another Texas race, I expect 2 more cases of White Claws.
All right. On the gram, our engine swaps are dumb story posted some disagreement. Nicked 20_2012 said, "What? I can't hear you over the sound of Apocalyptic Racing's 85's Ecotech dominating." It does dominate. We have actually, yeah. Those two brothers have years of experience with their Toyolette. Slowman has kicked our ass with his Toyolette. So Ecotech Miatas, everything out there. If it's got an Ecotech in it, I'm a little worried.
You've got the other Slowman out on the West Coast, and that thing hasn't finished a race yet. I'm talking about the Toyolette.
Right,
the Toyolette, and part of the reason he kicked our ass is he gave us a case of Modelo the night before, so we got us drunk, and he's a Kiwi, so we can't outdrink him.
I think I might have been the TR7 that weekend, so we definitely lost.
Yeah. I like these psyops that are happening off the track, right? Like, yeah. Right?
So Aaron and Brett Slowman are staples on the endurance racing scene. They're both from New Zealand. They've been in the country for years. One lives in California, one lives in St. Louis. In fact, actually, Brett has been out here to Las Vegas, had dinner with me and my wife. His wife is a sweetheart, just a wonderful human being. And yeah, he is a great guy, and I think really just going to the racetrack is an excuse for him to get away from his daughters and drink irresponsibly so he doesn't have to present a bad image. But they're also actually all of them are really, really great drivers. But the brothers had this Ecotech Miata that he has not sorted out yet. I'm sure it's coming. But yeah, it's on now.
But Dave, you're absolutely right. There is absolute if someone pours you a drink in a Lemon's Paddock and hands it to you, there may be ulterior motives. They might be like, "I didn't look at the standings. Are you right behind me?" But it doesn't even have to be like team to team. Like it could totally be like that guy's got a shift tomorrow, or that woman's got a shift tomorrow,
right,
and they're like half in the bag. I could get them like fully turned. I could get their shift and get more racing.
Or if it's a Volkswagen team, you'd be like,
no, we don't even
has a box of fuses. Yes. Need him to pass out.
We're swapping all the 10s for 5s. Ian, I have an F1 story. I have an F1 story related to this.
Oh, I'm very excited. Go ahead.
I know about Effington 1 racing. There was a time when Sebastian Vettel gave Lewis the Hamilton's dog a squeaky ball. And his dog, Brutus,
Brutus,
kept squeaking the ball all night. Lewis the Hamilton had to put the dog in like his guest house or something, and then Vettel beat him the next day because Lewis the Hamilton couldn't get any sleep.
I didn't know that story. That's fantastic.
That's a fantastic story.
I hope it's true.
You know who never has that problem? Jordan Taylor, because his dog would just be in the bed with him, and he's awesome. But yeah. Also, continuing on our engine swaps are dumb series that you two haven't listened to, but just understand engine swaps are dumb.
That's a bad thing to do.
I listened to the trials and tribulations that you're going through with, Chris and
Jeff, Chrissy,
Chris
5.3 swap in their
4.8, but that's okay. It's all LAs. It's all
LALS. It's all else.
It's numbers.
So all four of us, our mutual friend Steph said, "You say this as I'm shopping for 914 swap parts. How dare you?" She's shopping for 914 swap parts because she is officially now the social media editor for autos at Brookline Media, which handles the Drive, Car Bibles, and additional others. So we can all look forward to seeing her awful race cars returning to the track.
I'm so glad Steph got a job.
Me too. It is a well-deserved position. She is a fantastic person and a great rider. Yeah, we're very thankful to have her in the community for sure.
She raced with us years ago, and then I've done some rallies with her. And then there's a picture of me trying to fix that damn 944 in New Orleans, and I was like number 7 of the person that was trying to fix that damn 944.
You just like took a number like a deli counter. Ian, we saw an LS swapped 914 at a Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, we had one of them at a Lemons race once.
Jeez, yeah.
It put itself right into the wall.
They wadded it up like first 10 laps. Terrifying. It was awful.
Yeah. That's like getting in a crash in a tin can. Yeah, like
I'd like to mention I'm glad Steph got a job because I have some stonks in Puffalumps and 944 parts.
You've been buying those dank Puffalump stonks.
That's right.
Stonks.
Yeah. I can't get those from the Cash App. Where do I sign up for the class action lawsuit? Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Steph. Bearded Grease Monkey was also talking to us. He said that if we should do a live show to race. I'm like, we did that already. We did that in Road Atlanta in 2018. It's 63.5. Don't
Bearded
go back.
Monkey.
It's a terrible show. We were turned.
Nice.
And then the GD Yo Man came in, and we had an actual.
That was Barber.
Oh, we had an act. This is the one that Hamsa came in, and we were doing a live read for an actual sponsor. That was it too.
You've got to get your drunk podcast at a racetrack straight.
I can't remember.
Barber. But this one, it was. I was late. Chrissy had used up her throat, and she was doing that thing where after she's had a few, she just starts talking into the microphone like
she does.
This. Yes. And she'd also scream because it was snowing that weekend.
We do a lot of live shows. We did a live show at SEMA last year, didn't we? We were at your house.
But we haven't done one at a racetrack for a very long time. We've done 3 at Chris and Chrissy's house.
Problem is that COVID took away all our racing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about virtual racing.
So
Ian's got something. He's got his hand up. Yes, Ian.
Yeah. So this is a really perfect segue into my very topical FMK cars. I brought a gift of.
Wait, hold on. And I want FMK cars because we've got that coming up later.
Yeah. But you're going to have to explain it.
Lovely sunset photo of the Vegan. Very.
Thank you.
I don't know why I keep moving out of the way for your background. I keep doing that. I don't know how that works.
So Ian,
is
please
the picture
explain
better now?
Yes, much better. Ian, please explain FMK and present us.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say up front that I was completely lying. This is not a good segue. I just
Fine.
But FMK Cars is a game that Dave and I play on our podcast.
Yep.
And it's a variation on the classic game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, except we play it with cars instead of people because we're nice and respectable.
I get that.
Okay. So this one, usually the way it works is you get 3 cars and then you have to choose FMK. So F is you drive it for a day. M is your new daily driver. K means you get it gets crushed. And we usually have a little bit of like a twist with each car. And this is no different. And I like to go kind of ham with my titles.
Like the Corvette. I like
it.
it.
So I go hard with the titles. And this one is called Nine Inch Nails' 1999 album, The Fragile, is not only underappreciated as an album, but for its significance as well. It represents the pinnacle and subsequent fall of alternative music in terms of ambition and the influence of previous generations. In fact, King Crimson's Adrian Belew is a guest on the album. It also includes the great song "We're in This Together," which is the name of this FMK Cars.
I'm ready.
This is excellent because I remember when Trent Reznor was trying to sell his house in New Orleans. I was living there at the time. That's hilarious.
Okay. Oh, he's got it on Google.
Oh, Dave's going to Google for me. Oh, I love it. Okay.
It's almost like we've done this before.
Oh,
okay. So
by the way, in a minute, I'm going to bust out my FMK and it's on a PowerPoint.
Oh,
we don't even need to Google. We prepared. Go on, Ian. I'm ready.
Okay. So the way that this is going to work is that you two are together in this because this is called We're in This Together.
I call Big Spoon.
Yeah. Your fates are intertwined. So you're going to get everyone's going to get this. You guys are both going to get the same car.
Okay.
All right. So the first,
we share the car. We co-own a single car.
There's 2. You each get 1.
Got it. Go on.
I like where this is going.
His and his. Okay. You get first one is a Range Rover Classic. Any year you want Range Rover Classic. All breakdowns are replicated across both cars and simultaneous.
Yep. Get it.
And you have to fix them together.
Twice the fun. Double the breakdown. Put your green one. Only green.
Right.
It must be green.
Yeah, no, it must be green because we've both danced the Range Rover dance.
Ooh, you are braver than
that's a good one on the rollback.
Exactly.
For those that might be listening to the show because you're fans of Apex Adjacent, there is a fantastic article.
Both of you.
back in the day, yeah, both of you, back in the day, called Truth About Cars, where I talk about driving my newly purchased Land Rover across country.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
All right, so
Purchased
option one, classic
from Chris and Chrissy.
Yeah, option one, classic Land Rover. Because
I'm excited because
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything being better. Go on.
Okay. All right.
Or
So
worse.
the next one, you're gonna get BMW M5. We'll go. Is it contractually obligated? I have to say boring.
I can't tell you why I already don't like this until after we play our game. But okay.
Okay. We'll say the V10 version. The older
Yeah.
V10 version.
Oh, come on! Give me the E39 V8 with the.
Hold on a second. I have to.
The Madonna slinging version of the M5.
I'm getting a little pukey. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. So you get the.
You can pick any color you want. It doesn't matter.
It's not going to get better. Yeah.
It's not going to get better.
All moving violations are replicated to both owners.
Oh, you're
So-
fucked.
Okay.
You're
So
so
either
fucked,
person-
Jeff. You are so screwed.
Either person gets a speeding ticket. You both get the speeding.
I live in
ticket.
Jersey, so
And
I got 10
on.
times.
Right,
the
but
cops here.
I need a clarification. Does Jeff get my get out of jail free military ID
No.
card?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right.
Sure.
We're good.
Right,
Sure.
right.
But-
Yeah, the impact of the violation is shared. Yeah.
Got
But
it.
if
All right,
doesn't
okay.
work-
Okay.
If it doesn't work, you have to appear in court together.
That's fine.
Explain together.
That's fine.
Wearing the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos.
That's fine. Not a problem.
All
Look
right.
what I'm
All right.
wearing now.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 3.
All right. Number 3, a Genesis G80.
Yeah. I like that.
We're actually trying to talk Jeff into a Genesis.
There
Yeah,
is
those are
only
rad.
one car for this one. There's only one car for this one. Neither of you drive it. Instead, you get a driver, and both of you must be in the back seat together for any drive longer than 30 minutes, no matter how inconvenient that might be. Oh, and by the way, the driver is me.
Fair. I feel like right now it would not be hard to convince Jeff and you to come to Las Vegas, where the low today was 53 degrees.
I already know what I'm going to say.
It's winter.
Do we need to come up to a consensus because we're in it together? Do we each need?
We want to
F
hear
and
each
M
take.
and
I want to
K?
hear. Yeah, I want to hear each take.
Because there's
Okay.
going to be a little bit to unpack with where you go different. Getting my therapy.
I'm ready. Mental looks like he's still writing. What
No,
letter should I do first?
I'm down with this. Let's.
So we got the G80 where you go together. Ian's driving.
Yeah.
Right. You got the BMWs.
Yes.
The
Share
boring
points.
BMWs.
Yeah.
Right. Sharing points on your licenses. Right. And your Land Rovers that are running a raid 1 of mechanical issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Standard
Okay.
Land Rover. Got
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So here it is. I am marrying the Land Rover.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
a sweet vehicle, and I do not fear any mechanical issues in that vehicle because I know what it is, I
That's
know what it's going
bold.
to take, and I know that it can be fixed.
it.
Wow.
I also chose marry the Land Rover. Now,
Whoa.
and here's what, because I've had, if you've ever owned a Land Rover, they generate an irrational attachment. Especially, I mean, even the one you've picked, I'm looking at it, it is on a rollback. I'm like, my God, that is the perfect color.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
The other aspect of this is we give Jeff an endless amount of crap for his completely packed full of garbage garage. But I have seen Jeff at a racetrack and like, you know, you were giving Ian props for being a really good driver. Jeff is a phenomenal mechanic for anything he doesn't own.
It's true.
Okay.
I daily drove an International Harvester Scout for like almost 10 years. I daily drove a DSM all-wheel drive turbocharged Eagle Talon for like nearly 10 years.
On purpose.
This
Like,
does
he
not
went-
scare
he
me.
went
Crank
shopping
walk.
for a DSM.
Absolutely. All right, next car.
Okay. Well, yeah. So that's your Mary.
That's
I'll
the
jump
Mary.
in.
We're
That's
both
the
on
Mary.
it.
I'm going to go ahead and say kill on the M5. And here's why.
Clockwork.
Right.
Wow,
And
you're
here's
locked
why.
in.
I am a horrible hoon. Right now, anything that is not one of our show videos ends with me doing a burnout. I did a burnout in my boss's parking spot before Christmas and sent him a picture of it. I get away.
It's quality.
I get away with absolute murder in a car because I never make law enforcement chase me, and I've got my get out of jail free card. And I cannot, having existed in New Jersey where you're not allowed to pump your own gas, I cannot subject Jeff, my very good friend, to the punishments for my transgressions. Jeff, on the other hand, actually drives like a sane person. So
I don't know about that, but okay.
Compared to me. So as much as I love that car.
That's true. That's true. But only because there's a cop around every freaking corner in this state.
Exactly. Vegas is like, he didn't look drunk. I'm not going to bother.
I am killing this for a completely different reason. In every shape and understanding in my bones, I know I can fix that Rover. I know this V10 is unfixable.
No, that's the V8.
He said V10.
No, that's the E39. I asked.
Yeah, we backed it down.
Oh, sorry.
Backed it down.
This doesn't matter.
This is the Madonna Slinger.
So
Right.
I have a 20% chance of keeping this thing running. So F that thing, kill it right away.
So I do need to tell you that the lovely gentleman that sold me my beloved Vigan, Peter, he sold it to me so that he could buy an M5.
Sucker.
The V8. So no. Peter is young, but he is very bright. Okay, he's got a great head on his shoulders. He had
see everything you're telling us leading up to those two statements tells us that he doesn't. But okay,
he doesn't own a Vigan anymore. Okay,
no, instead he has a BMW V8.
No, he sold the BMW V8 as soon as there was some vibration starting to come through the transmission. The dual mass flywheel. He just started seeing like just money going out the door. Sold it. And so like he did the automotive equivalent of like the Indiana Jones hat grab underneath the closing door, right? Like he got out alive.
Like right before the bill showed up, he's like, I'm out of here. Yep. I think that's a great idea.
Right?
Proper.
So no, I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down. And that leaves us with the Genesis G8. And
so this is a temporary situation, right?
Ian, you're gonna love Vegas. And you're just gonna have to put up with me and Jeff being drunk in the back seat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where is Ian driving you? Is it just up and down Fremont Street?
No, you're commuting. I'm like we're gonna like go through Philly traffic, and you're gonna have a black eye and a bloody nose, and
but you'll have a soft pretzel.
The lady who punched you is not gonna care, and the cop is gonna say, "Well, what do you expect?"
I also have control of the stereo.
Is the password in Philly?
I'm
Ian's
okay
gonna try to get you to like Titus Andronicus the whole
time. The deep dive into the Nine Inch Nails history tells me that I'm probably okay with you in control of the radio.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
I'm older than everyone here, so I'm down with that.
By like a couple of months.
I'm like by a couple of years. We've had this conversation, Jeff.
I like that we're having an old man fight in front of a Genesis G80 sedan. Okay, guys, the Genesis is watching. Okay,
they are amazing. If you,
I think this would be a great car to check out. Absolutely,
you guys are also amateur journalists. If you've got, you guys got like press loaners, and you guys got to do cart.
Not very often, but yes.
Emphasis on the amateur, I think.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
And by amateur also that means honest.
There was the time
but
they gave us something else, Ian. It was when we got this for a little bit.
A boring BMW. Nicely done.
Yeah, a boring 600 horsepower BMW that we didn't have to own or maintain. So,
that's nice. That's worth it.
If you guys get a chance to drive any of the Genesis, they are those, especially that one you just showed. That is the new Lincoln Town Car. Those things are just friggin' amazing. And the back seats.
I agree.
They have recliners in the back seat for Pete's sakes.
Yeah, I think this would be a fantastic way to spend a weekend. Somebody else pedaling my ass through traffic in that luxury.
Yeah, but
I think you guys should. I think you should hit the turnpike in Jersey, just like diner after diner after diner. I challenge you to
nothing wrong with that either.
$50 worth of diner food in under 4 hours.
Oh, we could do that just in pork roll.
We're totally going spam and pork roll on this. Yeah,
I love that we're right into FMK.
By the way, Donnie, because he's listening, we're totally
going to the Wawa.
Every Wawa.
That's right.
Okay, I'm more of a Sheets man myself, but Okay.
It's okay.
Whatever.
We'll allow it for this moment.
This was really good.
This is good. I feel like we should jump like
much.
right to the main topic time because this is exciting.
Oh, we're just
real
getting
quick.
We're not to the main topic yet.
Yeah. If you guys, if anyone here, if you just built your sim, I'm looking at you, Lady Aubernon. If you've just built your sim, Friday night opening for the 2021 season 1 of the Lemon's iRacing, check it out. We're going to Long Beach. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice,
And if you're
nice.
around on a Monday night, join us in iRacing for our league. It's under Hosted Races, E1R. Email us for the password because we just don't let any idiot in because they take it too seriously and we just have fun.
And
you know who would
never takes it too seriously? Chrissy's mom.
Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom. Are you listening? She's not here today. I'm sorry. She's in Mexico.
Don't give up these people's locations. You
I
guys
like-
are
I
running
like how
bad
you think-
OPSEC.
I like how you think there's a possibility that her mom made it this far without
Oh, no.
realizing that.
Oh, no.
No,
She
no,
will.
Chrissy's
I'm going to get
mom.
an email tomorrow that says, of course I was listening, Jeff.
We all get cookies for our birthdays and
Awesome
for
cookies.
Christmas.
Wow.
Awesome cookie. You know, Chrissy's mom.
So my address in Denver is
Wait, don't out yourself. I'll
Why
give
don't
you-
we have a
No,
podcast mom? Why don't we have a podcast mom?
I'm your podcast mom.
Oh, that's you walk by. That's
you
actually
chuckle like
That's
you
actually
won't
true.
get cookies if you say something about Chrissy's mom. My wife almost she was like, "That's a bit creepy how much Chrissy's mom really likes you." And that was at their wedding. So yeah.
Hey,
But
hey.
if you haven't figured out already, main topic time. Well, it's Ian and Dave from the Apex Adjacent podcast. And,
Hey, Dave, that's us. He's talking about us.
Ian.
Are you excited?
Ian,
I
it's
hope
us.
you guys-
It's us, Ian.
I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
Thank you
this
so
is a
much for
great
being
time.
here. This is great.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'm gonna come in at 11. Ian's gonna come in at a 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we opened the show and I wrote that little intro thing and I kind of helped set up our show and we came up with like mission statements and stuff. So for those people who are listening to our show who are like, man, I never heard of this show, but I like these guys. What would you say is the mission statement, the elevator pitch? What is
Stealing
the,
listeners from other podcasts.
what is the je ne sais quoi of your show?
Yeah. Ian, do you want to tackle this?
I was really hoping you wanted to.
I will. I will. If you want.
Mission undefined will never be experienced. Go on.
So we treat our experience with cars like we treat everything else in life, right? Like we don't draw fences around our experience with cars. It's not just an experience with cars, right? It's integrated into our life, just like car culture is integrated into culture as a whole. So we do talk about politics sometimes. We talk about movies and music and how all these things influence us, how the cars influence us. We don't really draw fences around it. And every now and then when shit's getting real bad, sometimes it's just Ian and I talking, because ultimately the podcast is Ian and Dave are friends, right? Cars brought us together, but it is really just Ian and I's time to spend together, to connect and to talk about cars and whatever else is on our mind.
Is there a
Nailed it.
rebuttal, Ian? Or you on? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, just making sure.
And I like the politics aspects of it. I listen
Yeah.
to you guys when I got time on my way to work. I have a very short commute, so usually it takes me to, from, and then to. There's an episode a couple of weeks ago because due to my current employment, there are things I'm not allowed to talk about.
Sure.
But-
Hatch Act. Okay.
Yeah, but some incidents happened that upset me greatly,
Right.
so greatly that during the course of our recording, I got to a point where I don't remember the end of the recording.
Right.
It-
Right.
It ended up being a 2.5 hour episode. I've apologized greatly. And I remember listening to your show on that. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only person that, I don't have this extreme philosophy, and this really, really, really bothered me. So,
Sure.
I thought you handled it very well because the balance between the what's happening in our lives, which was incredibly disruptive, that happens when people try and take over the country that I love,
Right.
and trying to be a stupid car podcast. It was a difficult moment for us on the E1R podcast.
Right.
And I thought you did a great job. I was actually like,
yeah.
Well, thank you.
You guys did a great job. I just got drunk.
No, we appreciate it. I think whenever somebody tries to draw a fence around like, I want this kind of media to just be this, right? Like, I don't want this car media to talk about politics, right? It exposes an underlying entitlement that they have around like their consumption of that media, right? They don't get to dictate what that media outlet says. They get to choose whether or not they consume it, right? So that's where the decision's made, right? So Ian and I, like, we're going to talk about what's on our minds and what's in our hearts, right? We're going to talk about stuff that that we love and stuff that really bothers us, and it has feelings, whether or not Ian wants to admit it. I was
gonna say another way to think about our show is you would say, let's unpack that, and I would say, maybe not.
Why don't we leave it in the suitcase and then wrap some duct tape around it and then put it up in the attic way back in the corner where no one's going to find it? Yeah.
Put it in our emotional attic and we'll get it next Christmas time.
I'm here with you, man. I'm here with you. And then we'll see it and we won't touch it.
Yeah.
I'm the other way. I like type like 3 pages of notes. Like I'm like ranting like this and this and this and this and this. And then Mental's like, Jeff, can we not say that? I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry. I just need to learn. I just need to write it. I'm just going to erase it. We're going to talk about cars. I promise.
Sometimes you got to go there just to come back.
Exactly.
Right. Like I get it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I like that. You got to go there just to come back. Now,
I'll say my other favorite thing that we do on our show is the other kind of segment that we've had for a long time, which has had various names, is my shower thoughts, which Dave calls
getting wet with Ian. Yes.
I like this.
Yep.
Where usually just like I try to like where something will occur to me, like where something's happening in the news or in the larger culture, and I'll be like, oh, I kind of recognize that pattern from over here in car culture, and we make a very long rambling journey where I go deep up my own butt.
No, give him the Disco Days example. Give him the Disco Days example, because that's one of the best thing. Yeah, Disco Sucks, right?
I heard it
was an NPR interview with RuPaul, right?
Yes, and RuPaul was talking about the growing up in Chicago. I remember this very clearly.
The Disco
Sucks.
Yeah, Steve Dahl blows up the albums in the Wrigley Field. I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, it was at Comiskey Park, but yeah.
Okay, Comiskey Park.
Yeah. And it was like this whole thing about how they're basically the underlying like racism
and homophobia.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Behind
because it was black music and gay music that was dominating the clubs at the time.
Right.
See, I got a radio degree.
Okay, yeah. So
nice.
So, but and I mean, clearly, Steve Dahl lost that argument because that music is pervasive now.
Yes.
Well, and then also, RuPaul clearly won that argument.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody loves RuPaul.
Yeah, and like there's 4 people in the world who know who Steve Dahl is, and they're all right here.
Probably.
Yeah. And we know them because of RuPaul.
And my other idiot friends from, back in the day.
Yeah.
But go on, yes.
So anyway, I was kind of thinking about that in the context of how, a lot of car people will kind of talk derisively about like donks or lowriders.
Yes.
And
absolutely
not thinking about the context of like what those subcultures mean to the outside world outside of just the mechanical thing of the car, right?
Yeah.
And we do a bad job sometimes of connecting those two things. But those things are there, and people that aren't in the hobby see them. And I think it's to our detriment that we don't talk about them openly.
I don't see how anyone who truly appreciates beautiful mechanical work does not love lowriders. Like I have no interest to own a lowrider, but I love going to lowrider shows, man. Just when they bend all of those lines and it is all so symmetrical and the detail.
The hand painting, it's freaking art.
I would get lost in a lowrider.
Yeah, absolutely. Like how can you not like see a donk and smile?
Yeah, right? I love donks. They're fabulous. So in our original, and we trimmed down and have changed our intro, which is like I said, our mission statement. But it used to say, we even think you hit Drifto hella flush kids are all right. As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself, because that is like probably the most antithesis current vibe to performance vehicles, which is what we do because we're kind of a racing podcast.
Sure,
You know what I mean? Like an oddball car culture, if it's, from
like
the 70s.
a subset of donks, or kind of a lateral from donks, is the slabs.
Slab. We love slabs.
And you're like, Sajeev is a friend of ours, and that guy is ankles deep in slab culture because he is Houston through and through. Slabs are cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why we say we don't care what it is as long as you are building it yourself, because we're kind of techie.
Right.
We love what you're doing to your car.
Right.
So, but we would never talk about, the hidden racism behind hating a donk, which is absolutely part of the culture.
That's where we step in. And I think that's where it's been hard to kind of like sum the show up in an elevator pitch. This is why it's been hard for us to get listeners and hard for us to get press cars, because it's like, how do you distill that in one sentence? Right. Like Ian, I think Ian has a real knack for this kind of stuff, right? Like he succinctly described it best one time, in a conversation around some of this stuff. There's another mark on the bingo card, where he was telling somebody that I was copied on a text thread that we celebrate anybody that looks at their car as more than a commuting appliance.
Yes.
Right? And so like, if you put Pep Boys eyelashes on your car, fuck yeah. Like
absolutely fabulous. Do it. Whatever.
Right. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
Now, somebody that say like reacts to that because like they see a man driving a car with eyelashes on it. Right. That's the kind of stuff we want to talk about. Right. That's where like we get into this gooey stuff, So
that's fantastic.
I just want to say, I am like 95% sure that appliance line was Dave's.
No.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
No.
It doesn't matter. How many shows are you in? How many shows have you done?
Episode 280 is going up.
Yeah. After 280 episodes, the brains don't get them out apart anymore.
Welcome, Ian. Welcome to my to my taffy phantom zone I have in my head.
Whenever you wake up and your thoughts are very organized, it's because he was in there. God, this drives me nuts. Just put stuff where it belongs.
Yeah, I've seen his garage. That's not happening.
So Ian, and I think it was you. I'm also trying to remember because I listened to a lot real fast. But the beige pilling episode.
Oh yeah,
I loved the conspiracy theory discussion as automotive culture, because that's kind of like what we do. We like to take like whatever's happening in the news and comment on it by weird costumes or design, the themes of the car. So we've had like flat earth themes. We were kink shamed into doing springtime for Hitler. So we did a very bright pink and orange and turquoise camouflage and embraced the, if you can make a Nazi joke, you can make any joke kind of thing. And then we've also done like S&M and a bunch of other things. So we definitely have we have a whole QAnon conspiracy thought going on in our head, and it might end up being next year's theme. But since those assholes broke into the Capitol, it might not be funny anymore. Right. So now we're going back to the drawing board and trying to think again. But yeah, I absolutely love commenting on such things.
Well, if you want, what inspired that was I saw a Lexus with the license plate Flea, which I had no idea.
No idea.
Two E's or an A, because they might have just been really big.
Red Hot Chili Peppers fans.
Yeah.
No, it was flea, like a flea,
like flea fly.
And I
bass player
Dave of being in this conspiracy because he also drives a Lexus, and all Lexus owners know each other, right?
Of course.
But here's the way they know each other is because we're all at the Denny's at 4:00, and they just go, I've given up. I quit.
Yeah. But I think that license plate stood for forthwith Lexus enthusiasts assemble.
Yeah,
it was a call to arms.
The cabal of oil drinking
of Club Lexus members. That's what our message boards are called. Seriously, Club Lexus.
Well, and because the meeting has to be before noon, so you guys can get home to watch the Masters.
Yeah. The little speaker pops up from like kind of like Get Smart technology, but it comes out of a golf bag and interrupts your tea time and just says like
meeting of the Lexus group tonight.
Tea time or Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack.
Right. Exactly. So that's getting we were beige pilled because the veil was lifted and we
Ian finally saw the light. Yeah. Yeah.
The boring light.
That's
exactly.
I love how you say you love everyone who doesn't consider their car an appliance, and you have the most appliance vehicle on the planet.
my LS460,
not you.
An
all-track is a unique vehicle. It's a way to live in Colorado and not be a lesbian.
And not have a Subaru WRX.
That's
okay?
true.
Or a Legacy or a
Forester.
Well,
because he doesn't vape, or do you vape? I hope you don't.
I do not vape, despite the Volkswagen.
You're right.
Well,
but it does have LED interior lighting, so there
nothing
are
wrong with
that.
The only other Mark IV R32 that I ran into at a Carson Coffee did have a vape pen in the car.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But
Ian, I just want to say that I don't know if you're.
I have to defend that the Lexus LS460 is not a commuting appliance, right? A Toyota Camry is a commuting
You're
appliance.
You're absolutely right. The LS is
385 horsepower.
It's a commuting appliance. Yeah, right.
No, and everyone I've known that has ever bought an LS400, and I've had like 6 friends who have one. They all go through the exact same thing. Our friend Josh, he's got an LS. Actually, it's an original LS400. My buddy Carrie, all of them, they all go through the same phase of, man, this car is just so incredibly competent. My God, this car never breaks down. My God, this car is boring me. I'm selling this car. I wish I'd never sold my LS.
Yes,
okay.
That's absolutely what it is. It's I know this. I could have more, and then they get someone else. No, I wanted that.
Right. Grass is greener. Yeah, I can see
absolutely.
that really hitting with it.
Yeah.
With that,
it's that perfect girlfriend you had, or I'm sorry, perfect person you were dating, and they were really nice, and they were caring, and they were thoughtful, and you thought, oh, but I could totally date Scarlett Johansson, and then you realize I'm not good enough to date Scarlett Johansson, and I've.
Or you actually get a date with Scarlett Johansson and you're like, that's a little too much for me. Maybe I should have stuck with what I had.
We have something for this. We have a mental health check
that
we
just
give
invented.
to each other.
Just invented. Yeah.
Just a couple episodes ago we invented this, and I think it's perfect to like just give you a snapshot of where your friend is.
Oh, I'm excited.
How close. So just give us a little thing, and then Dave, being the resident therapist, will unpack it. How close are you to buying a Craigslist Maserati Quattroporte?
Any day, if it's there, it might come home with me.
Okay, so we're gonna need to put him on a watch, some sort of 24-hour watch.
And here's
we're taking away your shoelaces, Jeff.
Here's where I justify having that
podcast high five.
Because I'm actually with him. And at any given point, I will happily ride my Yamaha 50cc Vino scooter to work. And they'll go, why are you riding a scooter? And I'll go, because my Maserati needs this. Because the Maserati will always need whatever it is. But the fact that on a daily basis, I would get to utter Maserati.
Right. It's a weird sort of flex to talk about your broken car when it's a Maserati.
So I actually, you said, how close are you? There is a giant dam in the way which protects me. And I married her 20 some years ago.
Maybe don't call your spouse a giant dam.
No. Cause she says, she has the magic words. She says, where are you going to put it? No, where are you going to put it?
Okay.
And I'm out of space.
Okay.
Like the dam isn't my wife. She's the calming Zen focus.
She's the narrator here.
She's the narrator.
I think there's the other word for that you might be looking for. I think we can help you with is adult.
Probably. Yeah.
And that's what's interesting is you guys get into the psychology of this hobby, and this is one of the things. not just in my life and Jeff's life and that sort of thing. I actually had dinner a few months ago with one of our new listeners, Brett, down in Arizona, and I met him and his lovely wife. And we immediately go straight to dumb car things, and she's just over there calmly rolling her eyes, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in trouble because my wife does the exact same thing.
Sure.
But the thing about it is, and we talked about it, me and his wife, is you meet the best people in this hobby. And at any given time, when I used to deploy a lot and I would be overseas or, in the Middle East or something like that, my wife had a phone book full of idiots, complete morons that she could call at 2:00 in the morning and say, I have a flat tire. And they would be there with a jack, a spare. And
a cup of coffee.
And a cup of, we all make bad decisions, but we make bad decisions that introduce us to the most wonderful people.
Right. I mean, like the running joke about like VW Vortex, as toxic as that can be, is that if you posted on there like at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night that you were broken down on a specific exit, right? Somebody would show up to help you. Right.
Fuses.
Yeah. Exactly.
What was the other? What was the old air cooled board? The HAMB? What is that? The HAMB?
No, that's the hot rod, the hokey ass message board.
What was nice. the air cooled rescue association? That was like the older Volkswagen group that would come out and get you. This is fantastic. We always say the car is the water cooler.
Sure.
It's the gathering space, but it's the conversations that you have around it and the experiences that happen in the space of the vehicle that makes it important.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like I'm totally like ruining this great hippie vibe we got going on there. But all right, you guys both have real jobs and you've hinted at IT stuff. And there's actually your last episode where you go through the 8 levels. And I have some
the OSI layers, the 7 OSI layers, and then there's layer 8.
Let me get to this because I'm like, oh my god,
he took notes. He's very excited.
Wow, I like this.
Well, I don't take notes for our show.
the tech versus management, it's not just IT, and I think so many times people miss, and we're seeing this right now with the vaccine and so much is going on. We're missing these second and third order consequences. I just watched a report on the news tonight how poor and minority neighborhoods, they're setting up inoculation sites in there to try and serve these communities that are being affected at an adverse rate greater than your general population. And what's happening is all the appointments are getting booked up by people from affluent neighborhoods that are coming over there and taking all their vaccines. And it's always the unintended consequences. And I've been in leadership now for 21 years, and I've been working for the government for rolling up on 3 decades. And I've always been a big favor of incentivizing versus consequences. When you guys raised up the conversation of, well, can we get an app to make people do this? Yes. But that's a dumb idea because
it was people. Can you tell me how many people open the email?
Right.
That's stupid. I was notorious actually back when I was stationed in Oklahoma for my emails, because I would make them something you wanted to read. And I remember I'd been doing this for a couple of years, and I was at the officers club one night, and I've got my Friday name tag on, which just says mental, and it doesn't have my last name or anything like that. And I'm talking to these 2 guys, and they went, "Wait a minute, you're Major Ward?" "Yeah, Major Ward." And they go, "Oh my God, we read your email." And it was something that I had written because I was really mad that somebody had not emptied the shredder, and then they dumped a bunch of paper on top of it. And I wrote this thing about, the rest of the squadron does their job, blah, blah, blah. But don't worry, you lazy jerk, because the other 329 people in the squadron have got your back. Apparently this email got forwarded. And while these guys were in training down in Florida, they'd gotten it from one of their buddies who says, "Hey man, when we're there, this is how we need to be." And it was just one of those things. Do you need to track everyone that reads the emails, or do you need to make your emails compelling enough to get people to read the darn things?
Right. Are you actually addressing the problem, right? Which is that engagement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without giving too much away, what do you guys do for a living? How do you guys pay your bills? We know we talked about IT, and if you just want to say IT and go back to cool stuff, like the next question Jeff has, which is way more interesting.
No, go ahead, Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a to be more specific, I'm a network engineer. I work for a vendor, and I'm a sales engineer selling like routers, firewall switches, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very exciting.
quite exciting.
It is like
By the way, in the show notes, the blue ones, Mental wrote those, so you can blame him.
Oh, thanks
okay.
for the decoder ring now. Yeah.
I stopped scrolling like 70 pages ago.
So I work in healthcare. I work for a large health system. I specialize. I've kind of recently changed roles. I'm an enterprise architect for a health system.
Architect.
Yeah. Well, you're a pre-sales architect.
They draw houses. I know what they do.
Right. Yeah. But I properly specialize in virtual health. So like providing healthcare at a distance, right? Which I was
It'll
doing.
never catch on.
I know, right?
Yeah.
See, okay, so
A growth industry.
Right. Yeah. So I've been doing that for about 6 years, specializing in virtual health. And one of the coolest projects that I was on was a mobile stroke treatment unit. So this is an ambulance that we have in Denver. It was the 5th such ambulance in the world, 3rd in the country, and very first one in the world to integrate the complete electronic medical record for the patient. So I did all the IT for that, right? And it's an ambulance with a CT scanner in the back of it. And so in Aurora, Colorado, or Colorado Springs, as part of a big neurological study for stroke treatment, right? The ambulance will get dispatched with fire and police and medical, and they will actually treat a person for a stroke at their house instead of having them come into the hospital and waste all that time. Because every minute that a stroke goes untreated, you're losing like 1 million brain cells, right?
Yeah.
And so being part of that project is one of the most like rewarding things I've ever done in my life. It's so amazing. I got to ride with the crew, like the EMS crews, and work through all the simulations, and like there's an ICU nurse that's on board the rig. And like, I got to pretend to be a patient while they were running through their simulations, and like the admiration like that I have for the folks.
What was the signal that you were pretending to have a stroke? Was it, I have a sob?
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. They were like, no, this was too far gone. This is just, yeah.
Just open the door. Push it
exactly.
I couldn't resist that joke, but that is right. That is legitimately awesome. That's one of those things when, regardless of your afterlife beliefs, that's one of those things when you meet your maker and they go, what did you do? And you just go, that.
Well, I'm truly lucky to have the job that I do. I'm very lucky to just have like the IT inclination and like the ability to work on this stuff. And I'm really thankful for the people that I work with. So yeah, it was truly like a moonshot kind of project, because it was a $1 million vehicle. Like it was built on a Ram 3500 chassis. Like they call it the
$1 million. They couldn't do better.
I know, right? They call it the Colorado Special because it's dually and it's got all the chains and everything from the
these little whippy chains under the tires.
Yeah, like man. Yeah. That thing will run over anything. And so, so that was a few years ago, and then, when COVID hit, like, since I was still deeply embedded in the virtual health world, Ian and I had to take a little bit of time on the podcast because I was kind of working around the clock.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So balancing day jobs and a passion for automotive stuff is something that we've been doing for quite some time. And I think Ian, Jeff and Mental, I'm sure you reflect on this every now and then, but you kind of take the perspective of like, if this podcast was our job, or if building race cars and stuff was our job, would we get the same enjoyment out of it that we get being able to kind of passively or like put it on a shelf every now and then when we need to do that, right?
Somewhere out there, Josh Clayman is listening because we know he listens to the podcast, and he's a son of a friend of ours. And a long time ago,
he's a friend of ours.
I like that he's the son of a friend of yours.
Yeah. I mean, he's a son of a teammate because he's like 17, 16, hasn't like gotten in the race car yet.
But he's a good kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid. So a bunch of years ago, my grandfather, who was a diesel mechanic for International Harvester, which is why I daily drove a Scout for so long.
Nice.
Looked at me when I was greasy and 17 and thought that I could make an automotive life for myself in mechanics or whatever. And he said,
sure.
He was a 50+ year diesel mechanic. He was a body man when they used to lay lead. He was a welder before World War II who helped put together the USS Kansas is the sister to New Jersey Mental.
Kansas, Missouri, and then New Jersey.
He helped weld the Kansas, and he looked at me and he said, "Pulling wrenches is a great hobby, and it's a terrible job."
No, I get it. It's something that crosses our mind every now and then. Like, we love making dorky videos. We love like making snowdrift videos. And
it's a lot easier to do this when it's fun and doesn't have to put food on your table.
Yeah. And initially this started with a drunken conversation because my new job was not allowing,
because Mental drinks a lot.
It was not allowing me the time that I got to spend with my friends. So this was almost a guaranteed way of once a week interacting with people that I truly care about, which leads us to, how long have you guys been friends and how did y'all meet? Because you're from Maine and you're
I'm from Missouri. My vegan is from Maine.
It's an M.
Yeah. It's okay, that's right. You're from Missouri. No, we had but
oh, trust me, I'd rather be from Maine.
Our friend that he bought the vegan from is from Maine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is not either of us. I'm from Chicago originally.
That's what it was. You're both Midwesters. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We occasionally get into Midwestern standoff, which is when you both hold the door open for each other and no one
holding a Jell-O salad.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's Midwestern nonsense.
Exchanging opinions on smoked meats. Yeah. So my ex-wife and Ian's wife were in a writing group together, and they said, your husband likes cars. Oh, your husband likes cars. Let's put them together.
Jeff, does this sound familiar at all? Yes.
And so we saw a movie. That was the first time, right?
Yeah.
And we were in the parking garage of the movie theater, and we were walking out, and I was like, I'm going to see what Ian's car is.
Oh,
and
the big litmus test.
Right. I see the R32 behind Ian there, and I'm like, all right, this is fantastic. I love the Mark IV R32 so much. Always have, even before I knew Ian. And this was maybe 7-8 years ago, Ian?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
About 7 years
Yeah, because we've been doing the podcast since September 2016, right? And then he saw me get into my beloved Saab that is no more, Dusty Rusty. And I don't know what your thoughts were, Ian.
Well, my thoughts were like, interesting. What is happening here? But then I heard you because you started your car first and drove away. And at that point, so his old Saab was absurdly modified.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us about it.
Lots of turbo noises. So I heard turbo noises, and I was like, "Oh, I get it now."
Yep. I had quite the blow-off valve, and it was a full stage 3, with no suspension upgrades or brake upgrades whatsoever.
Full stage dumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stage torque steer.
Almost 300 horsepower. Yeah. It was running 22 pounds of boost. Yeah.
We took a long road trip in the mountains one time, just a bunch
episode 50.
Yeah, changed some mountain roads.
How does he know the episode numbers?
We did it for episode 50. Yeah.
And it was a challenge to drive on the twisty mountain roads of Colorado. It was interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I feel like I should just jump ahead maybe to our version of FMK, because I feel like I should talk about how Mental and I met and how Chris and Chrissy met, because it slides right into it. Is we met through automotive experiences, but it was like through the dating app of Gearheads. Grassroots Motorsports gave a challenge. It was a essay contest to win the worst car in America. It was a
Lemons,
69.
Lemons,
No, it was Lemons. You're right. It was Lemons.
Yeah,
Lemons.
Wartburg.
It was in 1969 Wartburg. I can't remember the year, something like that.
Which was it was an East German car for the high-ranking communist officials. 3-cylinder, 2-stroke. The camshaft was the fan.
Yeah, it was supposedly had 7 moving parts in the motor. And there was an essay contest to win it, and it came with a free entry to a Lemons race. And one of my friends who lives locally, who's in the SCCA autocross scene here, hangs out with my brother, basically had been doing Babe rallying, which is the precursor to like Lemons rallying. So it's Big Apple to Big Easy, New York to New Orleans, in a car that you buy for $250 or less.
Ooh, okay.
So
want to buy a vegan?
It's going to come into play.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about these topics. You're going to be tested on this information in a minute. So anyway, our circle of friends had been doing this Babe rally every summer for a couple of summers, and we wanted to get into Lemons racing. So my friend said, "Do you want to go into Lemons race?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I literally like yelled in his face. And we won the essay contest. We built the car. We spent like an entire year totally transforming this car. It was now a rear mounted Subaru motor hung off of a Beetle transmission. It was totally different. We just totally rebuilt the whole thing, and none of us had raced before. And Mental was second place in the contest, and he had raced like twice. So we were like, "Hey, do you want to be one of our drivers and like teach us how to do this race?" So it was like,
but also you guys get this. There's a personality aspect.
Absolutely. And it was like, we only knew each other's through like internet messaging boards. Like we met the guy who did the Babe rally through the internet messaging board.
Sure.
And then we met Mental through there. So anyway, so that's what happened. Oh, are you sharing a picture of the Wartburg?
That's the Wartburg. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is you.
That is me in the thing. So Mental put me in my very first race car. And that is just a few minutes before we lost the head gaskets.
It was Subaru powered. We lost.
It was Subaru powered.
More times.
Yeah. 2.2 liter Subaru hung off of a Beetle transmission. And for those of you who like German cars, Ian, Mental out there, somewhere out there's the Porsche 914 freak. The original spindles, the rear wheel hubs were from the Wartburg, and we put I think they were 911. Yeah, we put old 911 swing axles on it, hung off the Beetle transmission, which the axles plugged right into, and the Wartburg speedometer cable plugged right into the hubs. So it was like every single German Axis car you could imagine, and it all worked because German.
I love it anytime a car person is recalling something and they look up and distant and start talking with their hands. That is it's getting good.
It's my dreams and my nightmares that car will someday appear in my driveway. Yeah. But anyway, so this brings us to our FMK. Are we ready to go to their Mental?
Well, and you listen to an episode, but we always have either Just the Tip, which is Chrissy's
safety tip. She's a safety professional.
She's a safety, or Hella Sweeter But Terrible, which is usually, I'm thinking about buying this car. And it's always, well, that's a terrible idea. Well, too late because I already bought it. And then and then also On the Spot, which is what we're doing now, which is what I was yelling about before, when you guys were typing in the show notes. And that is, you don't get to think about the question beforehand. Jeff, I'm sorry, I'm stepping on your part.
No, that's fine. I'm trying to pull up the PowerPoint a little bit here, but I'll get to it. So anyway, we have
listened to your show. So exactly. I'm so happy you gave us an FMK cars, because we have, not only do we have the vanity plate game, we guys made
a vanity plate game?
We have an Al My Eyes, and we have an FMK.
All right. So FMK
wow,
are
the trifecta.
because we live in the automotive experience, right? This is all about the experience. So it's not so much that you're owning the car, it's you're going to own how much of the experience
Okay.
in the
No.
following
You got to
three scenarios.
plates
Okay.
first. Plates first.
No, I would do well because we do an FMK, so I figured we do FMK.
No, because if you look at the slide presentation,
Oh, that's
it's
okay. We can move
the
to that
plates are
one.
first.
We can move on to that.
You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Go for it.
Get to the right place. Okay,
All
so
right.
anyway, so
Emotionally,
K.
get
Next
to the right
slide.
place.
So K. Next slide. K is easy.
Okay.
You don't have to do the experience. Okay. You're offered an experience. You stay home. You mow the lawn.
Right. You look
You
at it and you
watch-
say, that's not for me.
You look at Instagram and you go, man, I could have been there. Those fuck nuts, man, they're crazy.
I think this
Okay.
is my role on the podcast. Hard
Yeah.
pass.
Hard pass.
Exactly.
That's a good one. Now,
Exactly.
F, it's a bit of limiting the pain. You're going to be invited. You're going to pay, a reasonable amount of money, get yourself there and have a good time, but you are expected to participate and help the team or socially interact
Same stuff I tell Ian during therapy. That's fine.
until
You're expected to participate.
until it's over.
So this is
Okay.
so this is the equivalent of going to the work function, making sure your boss sees you
At the
No.
work function.
No. You have to actually participate.
You've got to bring a dish,
like-
and you
not
have
just
to help
making sure-
tear down at least a table.
What's more than that? What's
Not
more
just
than
making sure your
participating?
boss sees you, but you've got to make small talk with Susie from HR.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if the car breaks, your hands are getting dirty.
Okay.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
you. Okay.
To
This is-
some
this is-
I
degree.
think our metaphors may have gotten away from us. Just
But-
a touch,
but-
okay.
On Monday,
Your
you're back
metaphors
at
got
work.
away from-
Yeah, on Monday you're back at work and nothing has followed you home.
Yeah. M,
Okay.
get him the
M.
Mary.
You married it. It's all you.
Okay.
You purchase, you prep the vehicle, you pay for the parts. When something breaks, the team looks at you and says, well, what do we do? Okay. The team is going to help you fix it or get it back out there or
Sure.
whatever. But also at the end of the experience, the car or whatever's left in it and all the bills come home with you.
Okay.
So it's just one course of antibiotics is not going to solve this.
It's not going to solve this. It is also up to you to explain or hide the bills from the significant other. You're
Okay.
going to have to find a place. You're going to have to dispose of it if it's dead.
You've got to
You're gonna have
intercept
to
those
park
parts
it.
before they get to the house from the mailbox.
Whatever it is.
You guys need to work on your relationships. I'm sorry.
All right. Are you ready for the three
I
experiences?
don't cower in fear when a Rock Auto box shows up.
You're not getting enough of this.
You're not ordering enough.
I have an LS 460. What am I supposed to do? Just order parts for fun?
You
LS
have a
swap it.
Saab Vigan.
All right. Mental wrote some stuff, but I am about to spin a yarn and it's a little bit lower than that. All right.
Okay.
Mel, you want me to do Lemon's crap can rally?
Absolutely.
Mental. Would you like me to start there?
You give
Okay,
them
so here's the deal. You already heard about the Babe rally, the Big Apple to Big Easy rally.
Okay.
You are getting a week-long experience. Babe rallying, Lemon's rallying, crap can rallying, what do you want to call it? You and a rally veteran friend, let's call him Donnie, will travel from...
No, read the whole paragraph.
I'm reading my paragraph, not yours.
You're doing it wrong.
Will travel from the greater New York area to New Orleans. It's the summer. It's a 73 Lincoln Continental, just purchased off Craigslist for $500. Really paid $500.
Okay.
It's green on green. It's 22 feet long, has a Ford 460 V8 and a Ford 9-inch rear. It has gold spoked wheels, questionable tires,
No AC.
breakdowns on the road.
No functional stereo.
Yeah. No, I had a stereo.
New
Breakdowns.
You're not. You got to.
We have iPhones and headphones.
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
fine.
All right. I'll
Breakdowns on the road. You can bring up the picture while I'm reading.
All right.
Breakdowns on the road are expected, but it's okay. You've got packed plenty of tools, plenty of alcohol for the nightly parking lot parties at the potentially sketchy hotels. And the rest of the folks on the
They're
rally,
always sketchy.
they're
always
already.
sketchy.
the rest of the folks on the rally are going to help you the whole time. Okay. This thing is fogey fresh. It's got a 4-barrel Carter carburetor and low miles. What could go wrong?
I'm going to add, at the end of this particular event that he's describing, they named this car Connie the soul-sucking Lincoln.
Wow.
Now, bring up the picture.
Somebody doesn't have a chip on their shoulder.
By the way, on this trip, you will see fantastic roads like the Tail of the Dragon. COVID is not a thing. That is not a part of it. Gas is $4 a gallon. A bunch of your friends are going to be there.
But your Continental gets single digits.
Where's your trombone now, Jeff?
Listen here. Pain is temporary. Chicks dig scars. Rental cars are for quitters.
Yeah.
Even if you F this one, which is, the temporary pain, you are expected to round trip this back to New York.
All right,
so
it's
not just
your desktop.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong screen.
Drag it to the wrong monitor.
Wrong screen.
So New York to New Orleans and back.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Double click.
We're waiting on Mental. He makes fun of me because I don't have an Apple, but
restart.
Have you tried turning it off?
That's good. That's good. Don't move it.
Again?
Okay.
There is Connie.
Okay. All right.
That's
a beautiful
Is the banjo included? Because I feel like a banjo and Dave is like out.
No, that's the dirty hippie from the white car. So don't worry about that.
Okay. Add speaker notes. Okay.
Both or half of these pictures, the car is being worked on.
What is happening right now?
I don't know. I don't know.
I might. Let's check your Gmail.
Okay. What eBay listing are you looking at?
These are parts for the rally car that I can't talk about right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, Mental. Your experience number 2. You're up.
Okay, so experience number 2. It's a track day. It's perfect weather. It's at Laguna Seca. You have access to a well-kept, low-mileage museum piece of an R32 or an 03 Vigan.
I'm going to unscreen him.
But it's a BMW CCA track day with the bougiest of the bougie BMW CCA owners. All of them are wearing BMW pullovers, except for the 8 guys who are at the hotel breakfast buffet in their driving suits because they wanted to be ready when they get to the track. And you have to socialize with them all weekend.
Okay.
So our show wasn't always called Apex Adjacent. It used to be.
No, it was not. It was
Team Clearcoat.
Yes.
Because we kind of had a similar experience to that, our first ever track day. We, here at High Plains Raceway, we showed up with this thing with its vanishing paint and
Dusty Rusty, the undrivable sub.
Yeah. And we managed to snag like some of the paddock, like garage spaces.
Yeah, covered spots.
Yeah. And we stood back for a second and looked, and we both kind of at the same time looked up and down the paddock and realized that we were just surrounded by Porsches and BMWs
and Lotus. Yeah.
There was a Lotus next to us. And we were like, we have the shittiest cars here. They're going to kick us out. Because it was our first track day. We were like, I don't know. And so we were like, well, this is where Team Clearcoat is, obviously. So that ended up
I like this.
I love HPR back in the day when the only track was La Junta and Pueblo in Colorado. I helped bolt together some of the tires at HPR because they were just having volunteers come out.
Nice.
I was hardcore into motorcycles at the time. And I was a member of
volunteer labor, the backbone of any racing community.
Right. Absolutely.
The Mountain Racers Association, MRA. But yeah, we used to do
right on
track days.
Amazing track.
High Plains is awesome. Yeah.
It really is.
We are still in the FMK, by the way.
Still in the FMK. So
if you marry this one, if you marry Doucheville BMW Club or whatever we're calling it, these people are now your friends, by the way. Have fun.
They've got my cell phone number.
Yeah. Have fun at Dakota and Chase's 7th birthday party. I hear it has a Paris theme.
We're going to have to go to Brax Alexis lacrosse game, aren't we?
But you get to keep the car.
Jump on option 3.
Okay, option 3. Please see the car in front of you.
Okay. All right.
Now, Jeff, I'm going to have to insist that you read my copy or I will read it.
No, I love my copy.
No, your copy was 2 sentences and it does not adequately explain.
No. It's too far down. You didn't go down.
Fair enough.
Dave, I love all of your copy always.
Ian, I love your copy.
You feel free to jump in if I miss anything.
We read each other's
copies.
copies.
Give them the story of the TR.
Experience number 3, Lemons Craft Can Racing with a set of new friends. You are joining a former national championship Lemons team. Let's call them the Clutching Casa Nostra. They are a multiple car theme. You are slated to drive one of the less successful cars. It is a 76 Triumph TR7 with a 280 horsepower supercharged 3800 V6 GM V6.
Yeah, the bulletproof motor. Okay.
This thing is beat to hell. It is faster than goose shit. Seriously, it's one of the fastest cars on the grid. The supercharger whine will make your racing suit tight.
It actually tried to kill itself one time by splitting itself in two. They welded it back together. This was after it got crashed, and they welded another TR7 to it.
Mental is not reading my copies. The next thing I wrote was, it is also trying to crash at all times. We are going to the exact same thing. The wheels generally go in the same direction.
Right.
But,
well, if you have enough power, it doesn't really matter. One of them could be perpendicular to the road and you could drag it.
Absolutely.
Well, you say that, but none of the tires 100% point in the same direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the chassis flex is held together by the roll cage, which will make it hard for full-size humans to get in and out. But don't worry, it probably won't catch fire. 25% of the team is potentially going to puke in the seat due to the lack of airflow. It might be you. I'm not sure.
It'll definitely be me.
Or it could be the guy before you and you have to sit in the puke. The only thing that's keeping this car from being an overall winner is the propensity to have at least one mechanical problem or kiss a wall each race.
And before Jeff goes on with the most important part of that, I want to add a couple of things. It's got a welded diff.
It's true.
It has the wheelbase of a wheelbarrow. So every time you get into the supercharger, it tries to go sideways.
Yes.
And God help you if it's raining. 60% of your line of vision is dashboard. And because they had to raise the front to get the engine to fit, there's another 5% that is hood scoop. And every time you get into the supercharger, the whole car rises up. So all you see is sky.
Yes. Yeah. And distant relatives calling to you.
Well, and
Absolutely.
The first thing I noticed was that just sitting there.
Right.
It looks like it has a negative rake.
It has a negative rake because the back clip did not get welded on at the right angle.
Yes.
I have to pee.
And every person that has driven this car, including two of the people you're looking at on the screen, have taken this car off track unintentionally. We've called it the automotive equivalent to meth. You know it's a bad idea when you get in, but every time you light up that pipe and suck on that supercharger, you just want more.
Oh, okay. Should I wait for Dave or should I read the next two sentences?
We'll fill them in later.
We'll film it.
So the entire team is filled with like-minded friends for life. So you are about to make new friends for life. They can weld. They can wrench relentlessly. The RV in the paddock may smell like farts and a little bit of chiba if that's what you're interested in. But the paddock is always filled with an inflatable hot tub, great trackside grub, and lots of rum.
Catered level trackside grub.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's a good NASCAR owned track with really good showers.
Yeah. I was going to say something about masturbating with a cheese grater, but I like Mental's thought better. It's kind of like meth where it's going to be a little crazy, but you know it's going to be awesome. If you marry this, you may progress into some of the better cars in the fleet.
Okay.
But there are people in the team who think this is the best car in the fleet.
Right.
That is actually true and frightening at the same time.
Okay.
All right. So, Dave,
be cool, guys. Be cool.
In case you missed that, if you marry the TR, you're making best friends for life. And if you marry the TR, you may get to drive some of the better cars.
Okay.
But
you might
plenty
get called
of people,
up to the big leagues.
But plenty of people choose this one because they think it is the best. And God damn it, the next time it's going to win. Because if I just can keep it together, it's that fast.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, those are your 3 experiences. We got an F and an M and a K coming up.
I really want Dave to go first because he sort of has an interesting relationship with track driving in particular and racing specifically. So I'm curious to know what Dave is going to do.
So I like the ownership experience, right? I haven't driven in a race on a track yet, right? I've done plenty of kart racing and I've done plenty of track days, but I haven't driven in a race on a track. Like I haven't driven wheel to wheel yet, in big cars, right? Love karting, but prefer time over position races, right? I really enjoy being the den mother on the track. That is my absolute role. I'm going to make sure you've got like you're topped up on electrolytes.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, that's a marketable skill with every entry level endurance league.
Very important job, right?
I've been trying for a while for us to be packaged as a package deal on renting a seat because like I'm a mediocre driver, but
he's a good driver.
I come with a den mother.
It's not a problem.
And I bring an espresso machine and I'm pulling
He'll bring
shots.
an espresso machine to the track.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah. So there you go.
All
So help me understand. So the ownership experience is associated with the Lincoln, or
that's marry. Whichever one you marry, it's your car.
Gotcha.
You're in charge forever.
And you have to explain its existence in your driveway to the significant other.
F means you're fully on the team.
Right. A supporting
but Monday
cast,
morning, it's not yours anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
And K is hard pass.
So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm going to F right off the bat. Ian?
Okay.
I think you're going to F the track day.
Right, with the BMW folks. Because if there's one thing we love doing, it's being the wild card.
Being the worst ones is what we like to be.
Yeah.
I was on High Plains Raceway with my Vigan with a McLaren behind me. Okay? We were both having equal amounts of fun that day. I'd argue I was having more. Yeah. Right? You know.
By the way, my track day car is like a 97 horsepower Miata.
See, there you go.
That he paid $200 for 6 years ago.
And took on the Babe Rally twice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it's $15. Like that's some strong market. But yeah, no, we don't.
So you're gonna go.
Walk
you're gonna
away
go
from being the worst.
Hang out with the BMW Doucheville club.
No.
He's for 24 hours.
No. We're effing this.
He's
this is for a day.
He's gonna for the weekend put on his Pilates and hang out with the race car crew.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do some deep knee bends and some questionable clothing choices and give those BMW folks an experience they've never had before.
Got it. Love it.
Yeah,
this is a great reasoning. I love it.
Yeah.
The only problem is you now have to take a hard pass on one of the other experiences. But that is the essence of the FMK.
Right. I mean, this is like Ian, I assume you're similar on this, right?
Yeah, I am. So the thing with the BMW one is that I am, if nothing else, a slightly bougie person who hates bougie people. And I think though,
so deep down inside, they're your people.
They are, and I hate that.
He hates that they're his people.
Okay, I love this.
Right? Yeah. They remind me of those tendencies that I have, and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. So but the thing is, the lure of Laguna Seca with one of those cars would be.
And if you haven't done Laguna Seca,
Laguna is amazing.
Never have.
It's you gotta.
I've never pulled shots on the pit lanes of Laguna Seca, but I look forward to the day that I do.
Yeah, there has been there was a whole thing with my dad's team and trying to get out there, and it didn't work.
We got 4 cars out here on the West Coast now. We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll make it happen. It's good.
All right. So you
ride
have
to
your
Vegas, ride the
experience.
RV. We'll make
package deal. deal.
So there it is. Weekend experience.
We're both going to do the same weekend experience. Dave, what are you going to marry?
It's a little tough because between the Lincoln and the Triumph, Like I like the squirreliness, I like the scrappiness of the Triumph, but I'm an old man, so I gravitate towards the Lincoln, right? But if I'm thinking about what experience I'm going to enjoy with Ian, right? Like what we're going to own together or what that's going to be. I think the thing that is most appropriate for us to own together is the Triumph, right? And then I think that we have to kill the Lincoln, unfortunately. But I feel like the Triumph is a metaphor for our podcast, where like we've had a press car here and there. We've had some stuff we've gotten invited to some great events, but we're always just kind
You're
of
this
chasing.
close. You're this close
and
to
we
getting it.
We have been for years, right?
Would you say that we were Apex adjacent?
Nice.
There you go.
I love that.
There you go. There you go.
Do you see what we did there?
There you go.
Hashtag
Okay.
marketing. Hashtag content.
So
I agree.
kill the Lincoln because you want the Triumph, not because you're afraid of the Lincoln.
Right.
The Lincoln was enticing.
No, the Lincoln was almost too easy.
Okay.
Well, I think for Dave, the Lincoln would definitely be his elements.
That's my whole vibe.
It's his whole
It's
vibe.
green.
It's green.
It's
and,
double green. The interior was green too.
Yeah.
and he's a really good mechanic. So like that would be perfect for Dave. That would be Dave in his element for sure.
Right.
But
But what is your choice?
my choice, I think, would be the same because
Okay.
mostly the having to be responsible for fixing things is not a good idea. It's not good. But I'm honestly a little bit torn because the Triumph scares me a little bit because I do get frustrated pretty easily when I'm not comfortable in a car, right? When I'm like,
And you will never,
never
be comfortable. But you're like, whatever. I'm not comfortable. Give me more. Yeah.
no, yeah.
Tell them about the RX-7 though, Ian.
Oh yeah, so at High Plains we did a Lemons race a few years ago, and there was a guy who showed up with I rented a seat with a RX-7,
First gen,
79 RX-7,
Yeah.
with
Proper magical Doritos
with a 302 in it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Was it-
nice.
was it-
yeah,
Brian?
Fox
Very-
body drive. Yep.
Was
Brian.
it Brian? Okay, yeah, the Ford
Yeah.
Whisperer, the guy that built
Yeah,
the
we know
world's
that guy.
fastest Woody wagon. I love Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So-
from Texas. Yeah.
So imagine that car, but way sketchier.
Well, the thing that was sketchy
and
about it was
honestly-
that it didn't fit.
Yeah,
little-
it was a
little-
fixed seat, and Ian's packing pillows in there. There's a little bit of a height disparity between he and I.
Oh,
Right.
Ian, are you a short guy?
I am. I'm like 5'8". Yeah.
You will
yeah.
fit in the Triumph. The
Oh, yeah,
Triumph
sure I would.
was built by
Dave,
a guy who's
Dave,
like,
you're screwed.
yeah. It's a good car for short guys.
Yeah, I figured.
Of course, you'll be able to see even less. 'Cause
Yeah.
They had to cut a seat pan out to make it fit.
Yeah, that was a problem in the RX-7.
It's all
was that I-
dash.
Yeah, well, that was my view of the RX. I looked like this, like
Yeah,
literally
just
like,
knuckles
seriously
and
up here.
helmet.
And I was just like, I had to adjust my cushions halfway through the stint. It was a mess. Yeah.
No, I Brian's a fantastic human being. I've run with and against him half a dozen times.
Nice.
You can ask him about the time that he painted his engine block and left the
Spark
plugs in,
See what a
and
great
painted-
mechanic Ian is.
What are those things? The sparky things. He left the spark plugs in. and
Pluggy things.
Painted on the contacts of the spark plugs, and we were having ignition problems during
Oh,
the race.
do you think?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
just
One of our favorite
lets the
stories.
spark plugs in, just threw the distributor wires right over it.
Our buddy Matt has a very like deadpan, monotone sort of voice, but he's like one of the funniest people I've ever met. And he just like looked at Brian when we were taking the engine apart,
And found the pink paint.
found the pink paint on the spark plugs, and he goes, "Hey, say Brian, what are the conductive properties of pink paint?"
Well, I must cheer you on because the right answer was to kill the Lincoln.
Oh,
We are.
I didn't know there was a right one. Okay.
We are all
Jeff-
three of
Jeff
these
hates that Lincoln.
experiences
There's
are
there's
real.
no car that Jeff hates other than Lincoln.
And that thing broke down 7 times on the first day, and that was the best day.
It's just gonna overheat and overheat.
All
and
the
overheat.
entire time.
Yeah.
The entire time. And when you have the heat on full blast in New Orleans in June, your shoes will melt.
Swamp ass. Swamp ass.
Yeah.
Swass.
All right.
Excellent.
This has been a great episode. I feel like we're running long, but I also feel like anyone that's listening is like, be like, screw it. I don't care.
I feel like it's running long. It's like 2 a.m. for Jeff.
No, it's only like midnight-ish.
I do want to go into this. Showed up on a couple of my Facebook feeds on Ow My Eyes. I'm particularly interested in Ian's because you have a daughter. Yes.
No, I have two boys.
Two boys.
6-year-old
Never
and a
mind.
2-year-old.
All right. Never mind. So, but this beauty showed up. Let's see if I can make this work.
Okay.
Share screen.
Mental will attempt
Mental
to share
sharing
his
a screen.
screen
This is
again.
Yeah.
Those of you who are listening on just the podcast, first he.
Wait, I'm
Oh, it worked.
getting.
It's working. Oh, no, it didn't work.
Hang on, I'm getting a fax from Mental.
I'm old.
He's trying.
So-
He's trying.
So this beauty rolled up. Are you guys seeing this?
No.
This
We're seeing
here.
We'll see. We see
We're
every
seeing
picture.
It looks like you shared
file
the
names.
Finder window
All right. I'm trying to
and
get
not,
this
instead of your whole
started.
desktop. So we're gonna make you stop. See the IT guys coming in.
All right,
So
I'm
here's what you're gonna
stop
want to do, buddy.
share.
You're gonna want to stop sharing.
I'm
Right?
stop
You're gonna want to
Hit-
share
hit the
screen
button,
one.
but this time select the screen that had these big picture on it.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Top left.
Dude, you're crushing it.
There we go.
This is the
And then I hit
best.
Share.
Oh,
All right.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
oh boy.
now we can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Oh
Yes.
man.
And I'd
Oh
like to
boy.
say, this is not from the 70s. This was on Facebook Marketplace
Ah.
a week ago.
Oh, this is
So
for
it's
sale.
It's an airbrushed van for your
Zoom
audio
Enhance.
Yes,
listeners.
please.
I'd rather you
Enhance.
didn't, to be
Enhance.
honest.
I love
It
when
is a
Ian
s-
says, "Please explain what you're looking at."
Yeah, it's scantily clad, airbrushed.
Oh no,
Woman.
She's not clad at all.
Yeah,
Magnifying.
There's some sort of underwear going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow,
And
and then
hair,
a demon
some
beast over on the. Wow,
And here's the thing, it gets worse.
really?
Yeah, here's the other. There it is. Okay, so we're going to.
Oh, there's another side to it.
Oh,
Vans have two sides, Ian. Vans have two sides.
So does all the stories.
it's physics, but yes. So here is the.
Keep
Man,
looking. Keep
other
looking.
Oh wow, some
Oh.
BSDM, BDSM, whatever it is.
Yes.
Right.
By the way, if you
Wow.
join our Lemons team, you're going to have to know a little bit more about the S&M community.
And then you've got
Boy,
the-
if there was,
We're
if there
just gonna let that
ever,
one
a
go.
s-
We're just
yeah, a selling point.
What?
Well, look
I
up-
love
look up-
watching Mental navigate his computer.
I know.
This
I
is-
feel like we should just have a whole show where we just have like haggle.
Should I?
Hey Siri, show the freaky van pics.
Yeah. Should I mention I have an associates in information systems? Okay. This is.
I
what-
love the fender flares. Can we talk for a moment about the fender flares on this van?
and the raised white letters, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Is that the exhaust coming out of the side, or are
I
those
hope
just
so.
speed holes?
Or at least mockery exhaust. Now this looks like
It's
It is-
like the interior. Let me explain the interior
it's
to this
the
one, Dave.
side door. This is not the front
The,
door.
there
There's a
is
stripper pole.
there's a silver and black shiny leather pleather interior
with the
with-
12s.
with big speakers and a bespoke glittery black stripper pole.
Okay,
Here's
so
where it
all right.
keeps
So
going,
first
because
of all,
the
that's
stripper pole lights.
Oh, it's got
up.
lights on it. Okay.
Okay.
And I
okay.
believe those are bow tie logos on the left side upholstery there.
So one thing I love about Facebook Marketplace is if you want to zoom out a little bit, Mental, you can see like the pre-canned thing that Facebook loads up for you.
Yeah, is
They
this
say
still
send
available?
the seller a message. Hi, is this
Is
available?
this available? Yes.
That is not the
Yes.
question that I want to ask. We need to inject some AI into Facebook that is like, what kind
were
of
you
cuckoo
thinking?
banana
What
shit
the
are you on? right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I was right.
Yes.
Bow tie logos.
Nasty
sacrifices.
That's
As opposed to
bedroom. This is the back of the bedroom.
it says bitch control chamber. Wow.
Whoa, with bulldogs
Oh,
grabbing chains
man.
on the lettering.
Okay, so the real question I have right now is how much was this? Were they asking for this? Do we know?
I actually
I
would
know what
say
I have.
not.
Please make offer.
No,
I think
caller. What should alarm you is that it's sold.
I'm sure it did.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it
this
is.
is
I'm
what we
sure
would
it
call
did.
a big juicy van.
Wow.
Is that what we're gonna call it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
going to
associating
go. I'm going to go
with
with
this.
rolling probable cause.
Yeah, no,
Big
definitely.
juicy van.
Exactly.
Yeah, that works.
Exactly. Wow.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
There are just some of those like cars that you see that whether it's virtually or in real life that like that they stick with you for the rest of time, right? Like Ian, what's one that lives rent free in your mind whether you want it to or not?
Probably that Dodge Dakota BMW.
All right, we're going to share screen.
Oh,
we're going to
busted.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
now this is
Dave, do you
what-
need help sharing your screen?
What do you call
talk,
this?
Talk me through it, buddy.
You
Talk
you
me-
have a word for this on your podcast when they put part of a car on another car, right?
When you try to fool someone into thinking that you have like a better car than you do.
Yes.
we call it car stanza because it's basically the car equivalent of George Costanza
Got
telling
it,
people
got
that
it.
he's an architect.
Got
Yep.
it.
Here's one. It is a Chevy Cobalt that they badged as a Camaro. Okay.
Why not? They're both Chevys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the screen share.
Oh, this is
Boom.
going to be epic. I'm so happy.
You're not
Okay.
sharing your screen. There it is. Oh, there it is. There's the Dakota.
Oh, there's the
BMW
Dakota
badge.
BMW. I like
Right.
that.
So
oh,
I like
So-
the color.
Right?
right because the big question about this is, Ian,
Who is it for?
who is it for? Right? Anybody that knows that is not a real BMW knows that like that this person is just insane. Anybody that doesn't notice this, like it's just completely lost. It's just another
They
car
wouldn't
to
even
them.
know that there was a BMW logo on it.
my
if
thing
they
is,
don't know.
Care
Right.
if it was a BMW or not.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is honestly that was kind of a cool color. Why not leave a stock or like just a generic custom Dakota grill on it and just have a good looking Dakota?
I got to stop you right there.
Yeah.
This is not for you, obviously.
No. The way that you lose this game is by trying to bring reason into a crazy person's arena.
I get it.
Right,
I get it. I
When
get it.
reason
You guys-
and crazy are
I want to see
talking.
more. I want to see more. Please tell me you have another one of these.
There's more.
I-
You can spend hours on this one because if you zoom in to the passengers,
Like,
I was
that-
already looking at the headlights.
That's the thing is somebody did like the fiberglass work on that grill, and it's
Yeah.
quality fiberglass work for a
but
stupid
the paint
reason,
job is excellent.
Yeah.
Also.
for a horrible purpose.
you can spend hours on this.
Oh, is there like a big fat monkey in the passenger seat?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't see
there's
past
a
the
s-
handicap sign.
There's a stuffed monkey in the past.
Temporary,
Wearing a chapeau.
temporary
Yeah.
handicap sign. He's not even permanently handicapped.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I'd
look at
like
look at
the-
the wheels. Look
I'd
at the
like the-
wheels.
He's got BMW wheels
emblems.
with white walls. Those are BMW
Aw.
wheels.
No, they're
those are
not.
not emblems.
Those are not
wheels.
BMW wheels because
They
they
are.
are six lug.
There's-
No,
they're
there's
six
six
lug,
lug,
yeah.
and there is no six lug BMW.
Yeah. See, this
They
is
might
what
be
I mean.
re-drilled.
The more you look at it, the further
Huh?
down you get sucked
The
in.
rings on the
Wait, is that a
These are his-
Sharpie? Did
They're
he do that
amazing.
with a Sharpie?
No, it's
No,
some
they're
kind
angel
of-
eyes. They're
it's
angel
some
eyes.
kind of like wire that he's
no, they're
put-
lights. They're lights. They're
This
It looks,
here.
it looks like he drew it in.
no,
Yeah.
those are absolutely angel eye lights
So,
without a doubt.
yeah, I think you're right. I think they're LEDs that are like
Yeah.
stuck on
on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Maybe
look on the
battery
passenger,
FPI,
yeah,
'cause you're looking-
no. If you look on the passenger side, you can totally see it. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I
I
think
love
they may be
this.
battery
Wow.
powered.
Wow.
Right.
I would drive this for the weekend.
The other question,
I would take this to Cars and Coffee.
So the other question, that really,
Yeah. Imagine pulling up to a BMW owner's
I would
group.
take this to the BMW track day that we
Yeah,
described
absolutely.
in the MFK cars.
Right.
I think the thing that the where my mind just exploded was: is this a stock Dodge Dakota color that you could get?
No
Right?
way.
No.
For the price of the paint job, he could own a BMW.
Right.
Now,
Now,
then why wouldn't he
red
paint
every
the
minute of
BMW
it.
color?
So
No, it's not a BMW
see,
color.
again, we're bringing reason to a crazy person. Okay.
I love this.
Now, so this is the bad side of Carstanza. Also, there was a Kia Sorento that had a bolt-on BMW X5 grill that haunted my dreams literally the night after I saw it. But Carstanzas have another side, right? Like
Okay.
there is a much more. Let me just pull up the
I'm
picture.
bring it up. Bring
Okay.
it. Bring
Okay.
it, Dave.
All right. Okay. Tell people what you see.
Okay.
Okay. This
Oh.
person, I like. They're not a car person, but they're a funny person. So
Yes,
I'm not-
this is clearly comedy.
So
I'm
this
not
is
gonna
a
spend
beige
my- yeah.
Honda Accord,
Yes.
and after the
what,
Honda
what year
Element-
was this? This is probably like a 2003.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They just decided to Sharpie after the H of the Honda logo emblem, LCAT. So
Yeah.
Hellcat.
Yeah. yeah, yeah.
Hilarious, right?
See
Because
now,
I'm not going to hang
you
out
do-
with this person on weekends, but after work during the weekday, I'll go get a beer with this person.
See, there you
I
go.
have a theory. His friends wrote that.
And he doesn't know it's back
He
there.
doesn't know it's on there.
That's a good one, Jeff.
One of
That's
his
a good one,
asshole
dude.
friends
Yeah.
took a Sharpie, got a little liquored up, maybe smoked a little, went out to the car.
It
By
is
the way,
Colorado.
we know this guy, not this guy. We know the guy who gets a little too drunk or a little too stoned and takes a Sharpie to your race car and doesn't know how to spell what he's trying to write on it.
No,
But we
because
love,
that-
but we love that guy. But
We
yeah,
love that guy.
He also doesn't know song lyrics, but it doesn't.
No.
Yeah, it's inconsequential.
We love you,
think have a
Omar,
great
wherever you
point.
are.
You have a great point. Like it's, yeah. So car stanzas, like anything else in the automotive community, it's a spectrum, right? There's like with vanity plates, there's, good and bad vanity plates.
Yes,
I
I'm excited.
believe you have a vanity plate.
We do,
game
we
for us.
do.
Look at
We
that
have a vanity
segue.
Good job, Dave.
Okay.
I like solid.
I'm going to
solid
steal the
segue.
share from you.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to go with once you're stopped sharing. So our version of the Jeff, I've already got it up. If you want to
Oh, you
not
do?
do this,
Are
Yeah.
you going to know how to get it there?
My favorite part.
I
is when
can
they
I can
fight.
fake it. So this is what we would like you guys to do is be honest.
Okay.
You're gonna see some vanity plates.
Now we have to start being honest.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah, you're gonna
I've
see
been
some vanity
lying
plates,
this whole time.
and I want you to talk about what kind of a jag-off.
Person, don't color the do not lead the witness.
So I will say, oftentimes, right, when we observe car stanzas, when we observe someone else's car, it says what we see someone react to. It says more about them than the car itself.
It's a
Fair.
reflection on yourself.
Car
This first
enthusiasts love to tell on themselves.
Right. This
Yep, there you
this
go.
was a vanity plate, no longer on a car, but it is still obviously very beloved. So
Okay.
this is there we go. That's actually working properly.
Okay. I stall. Okay. It's from Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. My
It is,
mother's
it
from
is.
Johnstown. Okay.
Nice.
I've been all over that horrible turnpike. Okay.
422sucks.com.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
See, and I don't think this says I stall.
Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
The
See-
letters are I space STALL for those of you who are listening. in
That's what they
podcast
want you to
lands.
believe.
Doesn't
So
mean,
I'm not saying
doesn't
what it
mean
says-
Ian is wrong.
I'm saying what the letters on the plate are. Now you interpret.
It was like that sport kid thing that I sent you guys before. Clearly a genetic engineer.
Yep, exactly. Sport kids.
Yeah.
so.
No, this is Dave's license plate, and it says eyes tall.
Eyes tall,
Yeah,
as
it's
in
an
I
apostrophe.
am.
It's an
I am
apostrophe.
tall was taken.
I'm from Missouri, so public school system didn't do so hot on the grammar for me.
I
yeah.
apostrophe S tall.
Uh-huh.
I get it. I'm down.
That progress. This is hard to see because we couldn't get a good shot of this one. But if you
There's a
look
robot driving that car.
at the, right,
Yeah, there's your first problem.
If you look at the plate right there,
Uh-huh.
it's Canyonero.
Yeah, from The Simpsons.
CNY E1R. It is a GMC Yukon XL with rear steer.
I mean, is this Donnie's Yukon?
No,
This is not Donnie's Yukon.
Okay.
Donnie doesn't have a Yukon. Donnie has a Suburban with a 454, and he's
There we
very
go.
adamant
Yes.
about that.
Okay.
But
He called one of his cars the Canyon Arrow.
He
Yeah.
does. He also calls his car Canyon Arrow.
Yeah.
So that might, but this is not Donnie. Donnie's does not have Hummer H2 wheels on it like this one does.
so
Okay.
what kind of a person drives this vehicle?
You know, I'm not, whoever they are, I'm not too upset with them, right? Because I think that like Ian and I have tried to form like a grand unified theory of vanity plates, and like where they kind of like plot on like this on the axis of like infuriating, we have no reaction to it whatsoever, there's clearly something there and we don't get it, or we don't want to touch it, right? Like, or it's like there's ones that like it kind of does what it says on the box, right? And this is it, like right, this is
the joke is right there. There's no need to interpret. Is that what
Right.
you're going for?
right.
I
Yeah.
would say the worst thing I could say about this person is that before they crack open a beer on their very large porch in their very comfortable suburban home, they
Yes.
say it's 5:00 somewhere.
Right. Or I was thinking that maybe they do the Nelson
Right.
laugh.
They're
Right.
We
they're
should
sort
mention-
of clever, but kind of lack imagination.
We should mention that there is a picture of the driver of such car in here. We hid his identity.
No, there it is.
There it is.
It's actually Chris from our team. This is his 2500 Suburban.
Thanks for getting us to shit on the
Was I-
podcast host.
Right.
That's not
No.
here.
That's
So-
okay.
Yes,
Because you
our
did a pretty good
feelings are
job.
so sensitive. He doesn't sit on his big porch and say it's 5:00 somewhere. He's like, I'm drinking. I don't care. But he will do the Nelson laugh.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, you're 50% on that one. Now, furthermore, I'd like to say
okay.
this is also a chassis adjustment device. We have
Yes.
used this was a wrecked Pontiac Solstice, which is on the West Coast now, should you guys want to drive that Laguna Seca. And this is how we adjusted the chassis after it had gone into a tire wall at, it wasn't VIR. Which one was it?
I'm not sure where it crashed.
the
I
West
thought it was
Virginia-
VIR. Yeah.
or,
I like that your crashes all blend together. Yeah.
No, it wasn't our crash. We
Yeah.
bought it
Bought it
crashed.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
And
say,
this
you
is
really
how-
want
this is-
Ian to drive for you guys?
No. This is how we straighten the
My
frame.
baby Ian. I'm not gonna let him out on the track. with
No,
your
So
no,
car.
So we put my Titan, for those of you who are in audio land and can't see this, my Titan trailer hitch is on top of the frame in the back, on top of the
to
bumper,
hold it down.
to hold it down.
Anchor.
And then we drove the
Great.
Canyon Arrow onto the front, structural arm that to try and bend it down.
How-
Crash bar. Yeah. Did it work?
It worked pretty
how
well.
many beers deep was it where you were like, no, I got an idea?
No.
Oh.
We've done this like
Good
14
Yeah,
times actually.
We've gotten pretty good at backyard bending. Let's move on to the next one.
I drove this car to a 10th place finish at Laguna Seca. So
Nice.
yes. First generation
Okay.
NSX for those.
I would
who
like
are audio
Ian
land.
to explain this one, since
I'm-
Dave explained last one. Tell me
I'm
what
in
you're
fa-
tell me what you're looking at.
I'm 100% in favor of this one. This is a first gen NSX with the license plate VTEC Yo. I love it because it's a little bit of trolling, which I think a good license plate trolls other car people rather than non-car people, because then you're just like being an asshole.
Right.
But if you're trolling other car people, then I'm all for it.
You are shitting where you eat, which is the right thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Dave, do you have
Oh,
anything to
yeah, I
add
like
to
it.
this psychological portrait?
I mean, like this. When you read this license plate, you hear it in the person's voice.
Oh, VTEC
right?
Yo.
Yeah.
just kidding.
VTEC Yo.
Right.
It's got
yes.
VTEC Yo.
So for that, because anytime I read "Good News, Everyone," I hear it
Oh,
in
yeah.
Professor Frink's voice.
I
right?
get it. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm in favor of this one. That it makes me talk to myself in another voice.
This
Yet
is my-
another
Especially
voice.
since the voice doesn't match the kind of the stereotypical owner of the car, right?
This is my favorite personalized license plate on the planet, and it is owned by Chris and Chrissy on their NSX.
That is amazing.
The picture on the left is actually from their wedding, which is the second greatest wedding I've ever attended. And
your own
and you
is
just
being the
have
first,
to let them know that they're close to being the best.
Exactly.
I'm married to a Mexican, and if I make that mistake, I get stabbed. So, and then
no microaggressions in that comment.
Yeah, I knew what I was.
Just aggression.
The picture on the right is the other co-host, Chrissy, and this is when they were celebrating women's suffrage. She missed a race for this to drive the NSX with her best friend from college, raising awareness for women in motorsport, and they got to go to the Watkins Glen.
That is,
and she got
rad.
She has a stack of photos of people that were taking photos of the two girls in the Targa Top first gen NSX while they were driving around, and it was pretty awesome.
That is really sweet.
NSX at Watkins Glen must be just like the most glorious thing ever.
Right? Serendipitous, right?
Yeah.
On that track.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have another one?
We do. So.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is a Honda CRX or a Civic.
It's a Civic.
Nissan.
It's a Civic. It's an EF hatch.
Okay. Thank you, Ian. With a lizard paint, right? And the license plate and a cardboard diffuser, which I love. But the license plate says Gojira, and it is fantastic. Now, I would like to contrast this with something that I saw a little while ago. Ian, I've never told you about this because I couldn't get a picture of it.
Do I need to stop sharing or? Okay.
No. Yeah, I didn't get a picture. So I saw a Nissan R35, right?
Okay.
Yeah, just a
GTR.
Yep, straight up Nissan GTR with a license plate that said Gapzilla. Okay.
Gapzilla.
No, I get it because he's gonna take you to Gapplebee's.
Gonna take you to Gapplebee's, right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Get you a Gappletini.
That's the wrong way to do that. This Godzilla license plate is the right way, and to go all in with the lizard theme instead of some douchebag in a white GTR.
Fair enough.
My fast car is fast.
Right. See?
Yeah.
Right. No, this is fantastic. I'm a 1,000,000% into this. I love how you center pictures on your PowerPoint deck. There's
a reason, because if I'd have had it on there properly, it would have given this away. I'm so happy that immediately you recognize the lizard paint, because I'm the one that did the lizard paint on this car. This is in fact our recently deceased Honda EF hatch Godzilla, which you will notice has a Godzilla head and also has a Godzilla horn.
It's the yellow eyes that really make this thing turn.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. Yeah. That thing actually looks like it would be a pretty formidable opponent on the test.
It is.
That is an overall winner. That is a K24 swapped 89 Civic hatch.
Jesus. Yeah.
We will run it sixth gear. We don't have a speedometer on it, but we've done the math and we know that sixth gear is 140 plus. And at New Jersey, we were hitting the rev limiter on the straightaway.
Yeah.
I
want to hear the intake noise on that right now.
You can't.
It's actually the exhaust is so gosh damn loud.
It is like no pun intended. It is exhausting to drive this car because it is a sensory assault.
So Ian, you have done champ cars, but I don't know if you've ever done a Lemons. The name of the game in Lemons is traffic management. There's 100+ cars on the track, right? There is nothing better than a animal head that extends into the vision.
and I like that you put a mask on it too.
Well, it was a COVID race.
Thompson race.
But you get behind someone and you rev the pipes in this thing and they look in their rearview mirror and they see the eyes and the Godzilla head.
The freaking bayonet that you strap to the front of that
out of the way, man.
Yeah.
But in people that you're friends, they see even like in traffic, like 4 or 5 cars back, they see the head.
They see it coming.
They're like, all right, these are my buddies.
How did you do the lizard paint? That's great. That is really fantastic.
So go ahead.
I drove No, this was the ride. I rode up with a backpack on my from Atlanta to Philadelphia with a backpack full of paint, and we painted the whole car black, and then we used a basketball net that we cut into a pattern.
There you go.
And spray painted green.
We kind of
Brilliant.
sponged it, didn't we? Did we sponge it green?
This is the ingenuity that lemons bring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Super cool.
Yeah. That's the kind of effort that wins races right there.
Yes. So this
right?
one.
No, that's the green M&Ms of the Van Halen, right? Right. If you can put that kind of attention to detail into your paint, you're going to put that effort into the rest of the car.
And unfortunately, I was behind the wheel when that car met its ultimate demise because it had been hit on every corner so many times that we couldn't get a square measurement to set the suspension. And then I caught a wheel at about 85 at New Hampshire.
Right into the front bumper.
Right.
I took apart the
I took a
section.
left, so I saved the engine, but it was the camel's back kind of a deal. Yeah. So now we are looking at an RX-7.
Right. But it's an RX 3.8 according to the badging.
Yes. It is black. And the license plate says
Verkit.
WERKE space IT. How do we feel about this?
This is an automotive buffet. Okay, you've got your chicken nuggets, you have your questionable shrimp scampi, right? Like you're blending genres and regions into this like this is not a Bellagio buffet. This is a Fremont.
I get you. I know where you're going.
Right.
You are so in the right area.
You really are, actually.
Yeah.
And I also feel like with this license plate, I would spend so much time like just staring at it and trying to figure it out because it seems like there's an obvious joke that I'm missing, like obviously there's some sort of BMW engine in here or something, but
actually no, if you look closely at that sticker that I think is leading you down that path, it actually says ban E30s.
Okay.
But then like so you look at the license plate and you think German, and then the car's like, no, fuck you.
All right, should we explain what this is?
Go for it, Jeff.
So this is actually the replacement for the TR7 that we discussed earlier. So our teammates have gotten rid of that and have a 3800 powered second generation RX-7, which is a V6 NA Camaro motor from, I don't know when, the 90s, I guess.
He actually got it out of a fourth gen Camaro. If you notice in the picture in the lower right-hand corner that no one else can see, where the vent is for the radiator, that engine, the front pulley sits completely behind the shocks. It is
a front mid-engine car.
I first drove this car in AER years ago with a different team, and the guy that built it was looking to sell it. And I talked this team into buying it because Black Betty, as she is known, is effing amazing.
This is faster, straighter, and handles better than that beat ass TR7. And these guys are minutes from winning a race, but
they keep drinking Saturday
themselves
night,
just a little too much. They're just not sharp
Sunday.
enough on Saturday morning or
That's
Sunday
why you
morning.
Need a den mother. That's why you need a den mother. I'm going to be out there banging pots and pans together at 6 a.m. and handing out black coffee.
You will lose that argument. We've all been to Atlantic City with Greg, and no one outdrinks Greg.
No.
We
have to tell new teammates, do not try and keep up.
And they're all like, "Oh, he's old, and
don't worry,
he's kind of a big guy."
I wouldn't get suckered in by him.
I'm in the Navy. No. You all lose. Everyone loses when they try to party with Greg.
All right, we got one more, right?
Yes, one more.
It is way past.
Whoa. All right, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you guys up. This is a great episode, though. So thank you so much.
This is that we're wrapping up after this. So
yes.
M5 LOL.
And the car is
this is yours, isn't it, Mental?
It is mental.
It is.
Yeah.
I had to throw it in there.
Okay.
I like, and this is the, I'll give you guys an out because I like that with the VTech Yo, you're trolling, but you're only trolling car people who will chuckle.
Right. How many angry BMW folks have you encountered?
Oddly enough, only 3 Series owners and no M3s, only like 330 turbos and highly modified stuff on my way to work. But someone sent me a plate from Ohio that said I've got it on my phone, but basically it is the AM. It was on an E39 BMW M5,
Right.
and it's the answer to this, and it says AMG haha or something like that, and it is
Right. The matter to your antimatter.
Yeah.
and, you know,
exactly.
and so immediately, and you'll guys get this because you're in the culture. I went Nemesis.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like we've done it all except give you guys the chance to plug everything that it is about Apex Adjacent. Tell us, where can we find you? What's next on the thing? What do I need to do to subscribe to your newsletter?
I think we covered every episode we've ever recorded tonight. So I don't know how much.
Welcome to
left.
Mental. By the way,
Yeah.
you can invite just me on the podcast or Chris and Chrissy and then end on a reasonable time.
Right. Yeah, Apex Adjacent on all the media's social, as we like to say. And we have a YouTube channel where we put out the weekly show, but then we also do some like occasional
Weird
fun-
videos. Yeah.
Fun, weird.
Because
videos.
you guys are very artistic with the drone stuff and like the snow nuts and that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
You've got a little bit more YouTube. We just kind of like post our shows for the people who are like, I don't podcast. How do I see your show?
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't you put it on YouTube?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
we'll put it on YouTube.
There you go.
There you go.
Ha-ha.
AMG. Very nice.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, so one of the things that we just did that I would love if more people saw was we did a video about my sister-in-law's JDM van.
Yes.
I did see that.
So cool.
You're
Thank you.
camping
Thank
or
you.
something, right?
It's
Well,
a camper van.
Yeah, it's a camper van.
Yeah, it's really actually pretty rare van that they kind of like lucked out in buying. Because
And it was all your idea, Ian. So
it was like I sucked them in. We talked about it on the show about how my idiocy was contagious and I was infecting family members now.
But you
they're
were so right.
Yeah, they're not really car people, and they found them. They teach in China normally, and they ended up stranded here for COVID and didn't have a place to stay, so they ended up doing the van life, and it turned out so perfectly for them. And it's this Toyota Hi-Ace cruising cabin. There's the video.
Ooh.
And we did it kind of in the style because it's a very quirky little thing, and they're two hipsters. We did it in the style of like a Wes Anderson movie.
Nice.
And
I'm super jealous.
We're super proud of it. It turned out.
I'm super jealous of the Wes Anderson YouTube moment. Not the van is cool too, but I just want to say it's both.
Right. But
This van is one of the greatest things ever. I actually want to trade in
It's
my
so
Class
cool.
C Ford RV and get it.
I'm going to amend an earlier statement. This is a big fat juicy van.
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
it's an adorably chonky van.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
No, it's
There's Ian's cameo.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. So everyone go check that out because I think it's worth watching. And I wish I don't really care that much if people listen or watch the show because it's mostly just Dave and I having a creative outlet. But sometimes we do stuff like this, and it's frustrating that people don't watch it. But
Yeah. I love this. I love you guys. I have become a fan. You are, even though it was first started as homework, you are now current part of my weekly habit of listening. So I will definitely be there.
We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. We're really thankful for all of these nuances to the automotive community, because folks like you make the automotive community and the automotive culture better, and we're absolutely thankful for that.
And genuinely the same back to you guys, because everything that you guys talk about, it's a positive vibe of just cars are fun.
Well, I'll try my best to fix that. The positive.
Yeah.
Gonna tamp that down.
Yep. Put that in your emotional attic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mental, do you have a promo for next week?
I do. I'm gonna and I'm gonna lead it in with, I apologize to both our guests and our listeners for going really, really long, but I felt like this one was worth it. Next week, you have heard us talk about him. You've read about his travels. You've heard of his culinary capabilities, and his lemon exploits are the stuff of legend. He is a racer, great teammate, fun person. He helped Sputnik win Class 8 in New Hampshire, and he does track work for AER. It is our very good friend, our sometimes teammate, and former Cub Scout pack buddy of Jeff's.
Boy Scout, but that's okay.
Boy Scout pack buddy of Jeff's. It is the gentleman Dave Mills,
also known as Caddy Wrecker. Check him out on Instagram. And while you're there, take a moment to allow me to thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers.
And go and like the Apex Adjacent
I'm going to get there.
On Twitter and Instagram.
We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe to oh my gosh, I almost blew your name. Ooh,
Apex Adjacent.
And then subscribe to us, listen to their show, but write the 5-star review on iTunes for us with what you think about them. Okay, that's the deal. If I convinced you to listen to them, you give us the 5-star rating. Okay? Is that a deal, guys?
That sounds great.
You get the listener, I get the rating. Listen, I'm sorry. Even if you hate us, give us 5 stars. Tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com, or text Mental, because he's not doing anything better, 484-243-0455.
Which, by the way, is a bit I stole from you guys.
He said that for like 3 weeks. So text us 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers. Thanks again. Until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless you have black wheels on your R32, then just keep it on the truck.
Fine.
Thanks, everybody.